What is up, everyone? Welcome to the 300 episode celebration of the Jigs and Bigs podcast. Seriously, 300 episodes. We could not be more fired up or more grateful to be celebrating this milestone right here with all of you in the room and with everyone tuned in live on YouTube right here tonight. Thank you for being a part of this ride. We've got an absolute heater of a show coming your way. You know, pre-spawn is knocking on our front door, and we're breaking down our goals for the upcoming fishing season, what we're changing, what we're focusing on, and what we're doubling down on. Plus, this one is special. We're running a live well segment, taking questions from the crowd here and from you watching at home. So get those questions ready. And before the night's over, we're announcing giveaway winners, door prize winners, and crowning the certified stud winning submission. Buckle up. This is a very special episode of Jigs and Bigs, and it all starts right now.
So what do you want?
What do I want? I want to use my degree for good, and in general.
I kind of meant like a muffin or a latte.
I want a job with a generous work-from-grocery-store policy.
You are here a lot.
Debbie, please, I'm working.
I want a job that will change the world.
Ma'am, this is a drive-thru.
And some nuggets.
With LinkedIn's new AI-powered job search, you can find roles that match your unique skills so you can dare to discover more. Visit linkedin.com/jobs to learn more.
Every sip of Coca-Cola brings you closer to the excitement of the FIFA World Cup 26. Because nothing compares to the joy. So grab a Coke and drink in the FIFA World Cup 26. No purchase necessary. 13 plus in 50 U.S. states and D.C. with a web-enabled device. Ends March 1st with 8 entry periods. Rules at cokeurl.com/soccer rules.
Ow. Would you look at that, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Springfield, Massachusetts. Nathan Bills. How we doing? Oh, it is so good to be here, and it only took 6 years for us to get this far. And you guys know me. I'm your host, Bobby Roastbeef, and of course, I'm joined by the one and only American vet fishing. Who the fuck is Joe Brown?
Thank you.
Thank you guys very much for coming out and being part of our big night here tonight. We have a lot of fun stuff lined up for you guys. We have a bunch of folks. Actually, this is the most people we've had watching us on a live stream ever, which is fantastic. We got Wolf of Walmart in the house. We got a bunch of folks here too. Let's go ahead and get a shout of the crowd. Give yourselves a little bit of love, guys. I don't know if you can see in the back there, but we got Matt Thayer from Klondike Custom Creations. He's at the bar right now getting fueled up because that is priorities are really what it gets down to, folks. Man, what an amazing freaking night we have lined up. We got a great show all set up for you guys. Let's go ahead. We'll dive into it. First and foremost, big shout out to everybody who made it out here. We got folks out here from as far away as New Jersey. We've got Boston Anglers came and they hooked it up with the door prizes. We've got great stuff. We want to give a big shout out to everybody who has been a part of the show as far as sponsoring for some of our prizes, our giveaways. We've got Boston Anglers in the house plus friends. Like we've got some real good stuff from, you name it. We're going to go through all that when we get through it all. We also have HH Custom Baits. They're a longtime friend of the show. You guys probably recently heard that segment with HH Customs. We got Pig Jigs also putting a prize pack together for you guys. We have Heat Your Meat. Heat Your Meat. Mark Serrano has been a huge supporter of Jigs and Bigs. Connecticut-based business. I use Heat Your Meat products daily in my kitchen, and he's got a great prize for you guys. It's an ultimate combo pack. We've got a great online prize from Klondike Custom Creations, some wire baits and a couple of plugs. We've got Fish or Die prize pack as well to give out to you guys, and we've got an Achigan gift pack that is absolutely awesome. $150 gift card and 2 packs of custom munchies. Big shout out and thank you to Josh Schrenko. We're going to get to see him actually next week at the Columbus Fishing Expo. Oh no,
way to rub it in even more, Bob.
I totally didn't even mean that. Wow, I'm an absolute degenerate piece of shit. I will get to see Mr. Josh Schrenko next week because this is odd. For the first time ever, you and I aren't going to the same expo.
Nope.
This is going to be weird, although I think it's going to be fun. Now, there's a little competition right now because I do have an open seat in my car, and I'm lobbying to convince Binya, who is right over here, I'm lobbying to convince Binya to get the flu and call out and not join in. But if Meg really wants to go, she can absolutely ride out with me. I'm just saying.
It's literally been every day that I've heard about it. Every single day and twice in the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe it. It's going to be an amazing show. But the New England show is nothing to, sniff at. The New England Expo is a fantastic show. I genuinely do wish that these were not on the same weekend. Now, the New England Expo, for you guys that are local, is always a great time. It's out in Marlboro. Some of you guys that are old WAF listeners would remember that. And it's an awesome show. Boston Anglers, make sure to stop by the Boston Anglers booth specifically. There's a lot of good juice in the Boston Anglers booth. Definitely stop by the Fish or Die booth. You'll see Joe. Feel free to rub it in a little bit too. But it's going to be absolutely awesome. We got a lot of shit going on. It's going to be very, very busy. Let's see. What else do we have going on? As far as weeks, I have had zero fishy shit happen, Joe. How was your week regarding fishy shit?
Kind of the same, Bobby.
Yeah?
Kind of the same.
That bad?
Outside of the whatnot stuff, it's been pretty quiet.
Have you been live a bunch? Still killing it?
Only a couple times this week. I only did a couple times this week. It's kind of been a busy life week this week.
Oh, I hear you.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it's interesting that you mentioned that. We should tease that in this week's show, we have a little bit of a big announcement as far as in our headline segment right here. Kind of dominates. It's a big deal. Some of you guys will be very, very interested about this stuff, especially if you're already involved in the whatnot, sort of the whatnot scene, really. Joe has been actually absolutely killing it in there. Man, I have been having a real busy week. Fishy adjacent shit, a lot of content-oriented stuff. Been working on a few things. Obviously, the majority of my efforts this week have been going into the last details of the show. And then fishy trivia. Fishy trivia last night was absolutely amazing. We had a pretty good turnout that night. We had our top 3 teams that won it. Todd Sefton took 3rd place, Kill It and Grill It. We had Biohazard Bass and Kevin came in 2nd place there. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
And then Metal Jones, Zach from Dark Horse Tackle took that 1st place spot and had done what, I'll be honest with you, a lot of teams that play general knowledge trivia with me regularly kind of struggle to do. He got 100, 7th and 8th. Those scores were so impressive that actually the software blocked them out. I can't even look at the order past that. But it was really good all the way to the end. We had a real good time with it, and I'm excited. And I might as well just drop this. Zach was so impressed with the platform. And I edited the video, so you guys will be able to check it out on the Jigs and Bigs YouTube channel as well. I made it nice and tight, so it'll go real quick. You can play along and answer in the comments and stuff. But Zach had offered a $50 gift card if I can do one of those every month. So we're going to start doing that regularly. We'll do fishy trivia, something like that. I'm also going to be doing some online stuff with general knowledge stuff, too. I may even dip into that a little bit and just feature one fishy round, but sandwiched in between some general knowledge stuff to kind of mix up the potential winners. And I think a $50 Dark Horse Tackle gift card is a pretty good prize to play for, ain't it?
I think that's pretty great.
That's pretty freaking great. Awesome, man. I love it. We have a lot of stuff to talk about this week. One of the things that we talked about was some unpopular opinions in the fishing world. So we want to get you guys involved in this and everything. So Joe we want wireless mics tonight specifically, so we could go out there and kind of have a conversation with you guys and talk about some of these things. So I'm going to go ahead. I just put these in order, and we'll go ahead and we'll start them.
Okay.
First unpopular fishing opinion, and I want to throw this one out there, is that there is really no problem in the world for anglers that choose to use a handmade swim bait versus one that is mass-produced, like a resin reproduction of any kind. Now, I understand why people would make that choice, but there are some folks that kind of have this like superiority complex about it. I was listening recently to an episode of the Current podcast with KGB swim baits. And the conversation there, you hear it all the time about the Chad Shad. You're familiar with the Chad Shad, right?
Of course.
Well, the Chad Shad's an interesting bait because there's that Spro version. Mm-hmm. And the beauty of it is, and I couldn't agree, and I think that this was a sentiment that came up on the show, is that you've got a choice. You could buy that handmade version for $180 or something like that.
Something
you
crazy,
could get, and there are benefits to that because it is the original. But at the same time, the beauty about there being the alternative of being able to get a reproduction of it that is cast in resin and is mass manufactured, you can actually get it. It's available.
It's not only available, but it's for like the standard person can buy it.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not everyone's willing to buy a $180 bait that they're just gonna huck into a flipping tree branch the first cast and never see it again.
Yes, exactly. I agree 100%. What about you guys? Anybody have anything that they want to add on? We can send Joe out with the microphone. Anybody? Oh, we should mention that, yes, Matt Thayer does have some stuff out that is available, all kinds of good stuff. And I mean, speaking of it is, you make a real good point, Joe. It's just the barrier of entry to get into those baits.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Can be super, super intimidating, Joe Mazzafaro's in the house, and he likes the big swim baits quite a bit. Mm-hmm. Of course, we got the Boston Angler guys in here, too. I mean, they're big bait folks. Don't get me wrong, if you want to make that step and get into it, but sometimes that's really tricky for people, and they think that there's like getting those reproductions or those collabs that are with a larger company that's got the capital to be able to make these things available, they think that that's somehow less than, and I don't necessarily think that it is.
You know what, Bobby? The mass production baits are good to get folks who are a little uncomfortable.
Yes.
With the mass baits.
That's exactly what I'm trying to say.
To get them comfortable.
Yeah.
Before they spend the money on a more lucrative or more expensive,
like a more boutique type bait.
Exactly.
Yep.
So
100%.
So they don't huck it into the first tree that they see.
For sure.
I mean? Yeah. So you got to get exactly. So you got to get used to it first.
John Carter knows
because I have
he's
a couple.
Been there before.
I have a couple of the expensive swim baits, and I am so friggin' terrified to tie them on because
the only expensive ones that I throw are floaters, intentionally.
Smart.
Because
guess what? You can hop in and grab it if you need to.
If worst case, it's not going to sink on me. You know what I'm saying? This was another unpopular fishing opinion. I don't know if it's really unpopular. I think this is spot on, but maybe you guys agree that the community that's causing most of the negative attention in the fishing niche right now is the baby boomer generation. 100%. They seem to be the ones that cause the most stir. I say that, and I'm looking around the room, and we don't have a single baby boomer in here. I think Gen X is about as old as we're going right now, so this looks really bad.
Gen X is in there too, though, Bobby. I think it's more of that baby boomer to Gen X.
It's got to be that early Gen X
Yep.
because, it's that is something. Because, I think that you're right. You see a lot of these folks that'll jump in on Facebook and immediately start sharing their 2 cents about topics that are hot topics. Forward-facing sonar being the biggest one to go to.
Right.
I think that is pretty accurate. Does anybody have any other experience that they want to chime in about or talk about that maybe disproves that a little bit maybe?
So to get a little bit more in depth to it, everybody. So the reason why this kind of came up is the fact that that late Gen or that early Gen X, the baby boomers, when it comes to forward-facing sonar or technology in the fishing community. So the one thing that we obviously know that has to happen is that the fishing community needs to age with the technology that's coming up. You know what I mean? We all need to adapt and overcome. It's just the way it is. It's the way life is. And those baby boomers, those early Gen X's, hop on their YouTubes and their Instagrams and stuff, and just absolutely, especially in the professional fishing community, absolutely dog the young kids that are coming up in the professional fishing community, that are successful and doing well. And being like, oh, you're cheating or you're doing this, doing that, just because the technology has become much better since the days that they were throwing just a string on a stick.
We have a couple of comments specifically regarding baby boomers from our friends that are streaming the show. One of them being South Detroit Fishing. He says, boomers, except the ones that are here, of course. I don't think there's any even in the live stream necessarily, but he says they're ruining the world, not just fishing. Ouch. Ouch. And then Wolf of Walmart, we got our friend Dave Urquhart says, baby boomers want to listen to vinyl records in their Model Ts. I didn't even know that you could do that. I can do that.
If you can, I'm going to go start looking for a Model T. Yeah.
So then, and again, like Bobby Roast Beef loves to stir the pot more than anything, but we got Maz Family Fishing says, I can prove your point further. My dad is so old, he doesn't realize that I'm a better fisherman than him, which is, wow, that's cold, Bobby. That is cold. That is cold. And then, who is it? Eli Self goes, everyone hated KVD early on. Yeah, but let's be honest. Then it was Ike that kind of stole some of that heat, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of how that works, as far as in the public eye.
But Mike Iaconelli was hated because he was loud and he was different from the generation before him. What's that? Oh, I know. It's New Jersey people are the worst.
They are the worst. Absolutely the worst. All right, so move on. Unpopular opinion. What's our next one that we want to cover here? Let's see. Sometimes you just need to kill a bass. Sometimes you just got to kill a bass. And this is harvesting needs to be something that we're a little bit more cognizant of. There is this attitude that, like, for some reason, a bass is like this sacred animal. And, like, there is a conversation that needs to happen about responsible conservation, and part of that involves harvesting when you can. So if you're lucky enough to live in an area where you've got really clean waters and can, and you gut hook that fish that's like 12 to 14 inches, grab some tater tots on your way home and have some fish and chips or whatever you got to do. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing wrong with doing that. And it's if in all reality, if done the right way, I would argue that it's for the betterment of the fishery.
I see topless Timmy Jake shaking his head over there. I feel like he's got something to say about
He's got a Bass Pizza over there. That's why. He's got a Bass Pizza going right now. And I didn't even know Nathan Bills had that on the menu, but I think they knew that we were on our way. I think they knew. So, I mean, I know that one's really unpopular. That's gonna tick some people off, I am sure. In fact, I want to look over here. So Michael Bradley says, you're rolling the dice if you eat a bass from my local river. Mike, you're absolutely right. This is exactly the thing. There are so many polluted waters in a lot of the country right now. Be smart about but if you have that opportunity, and for the betterment of that fishery, sometimes you got to take a bass home. Sometimes. Let's see. Says, I usually harvest and make... Jay Manning says, I usually harvest and make fertilizer. Doesn't everyone? And then... Binya chimes in. He says, if you like glowing in the dark, eat some Champlain fish.
So, as someone who doesn't, I don't harvest fish. It's not really my thing. I don't really like it that much. But I would think Champlain would be one of the places I'm like, okay, I'm safe. I'm good.
Oh, somebody commented on that. Hold on a second. I got to put this up so people can say, look at this is Kevin's shirt. It says largemouth bass. The American eagle of freshwater. So
I was on your show, like 5 weeks ago. Remember?
yeah.
Was dying in the car. I was like, I gotta make a fucking t-shirt.
So I remember way back in the early Jigs and Bigs days, Sean and I were going on and on and on about harvesting bass at some point and the responsible way of doing it. And we had somebody had commented, and I forget what the platform was. Probably most likely was Instagram. And the comment was something to the effect of, I look at the largemouth bass like the American, the bald eagle. Like, it is the equivalent of the bald eagle. And I was like, slow your roll. First off, it is a federal offense to mess with any bird of prey, let alone the bald eagle, right? But fish are not birds of prey. They're different animals. And we might even get into it. I think we talked about this in Fishy Trivia, that the largemouth bass is the #1 human-migrated species of fish in the entire country for the sole purpose of making quality fisheries, which is awesome, but I don't think that that's patriotic. You know what I mean? I think if you're putting that up there, I think your priorities are a little bit off. That's unpopular opinion.
I guess my thing would be like those 12 to 14, those 1 pound, bass. Yep. You know, if for some reason you have the taste for bass, where I'm going to be honest, I think you're a fucking weirdo if you're like, oh, bass is, that's I'm going to go take this home and eat it. Like crappie, yeah, I can get it. Bass, I'm like, oh, whatever. Bass pizza, I'm like, oh, okay. But, you want to take those 1 pounders out? Sure, whatever. But if we're here in Massachusetts, like we don't have the best bass fishing on the planet. So if you're taking a 4 or 5 pounder out and you're like, I'm gonna eat this fucking thing,
you deserve all the lead poisoning you get.
I got a little bit of a problem with that,
100%.
Because that's a breeding fish.
Yes. Yep.
So
I agree with that. There's like a sweet spot. Pat Martin chimes in and he says, at the very least, proper culling techniques. I wouldn't consider any water in southern New England safe for eating fish, and you're absolutely right, Pat. Like that's part of the main reason. But like, if you don't feel so guilty if you send one back that's bleeding out the gills. Like, trust me, in the end of things, something's gonna eat it. The turtle's going to eat it. Something's going to eat. Hell, that bald eagle might eat it.
So I will tell you, Bobby, and I wish Zach was in here. I don't think Zach is in here, but him and I.
Oh, he's in here.
Is he? Okay, so Zach can attest to this.
Yes.
So him and I did a tournament up in the St. Lawrence River last year. We brought in, I want to say it was like a 2.5, maybe 3 pound smallmouth. And this thing was bleeding all over the place. And we put this thing in the live well, and Zach was, doing everything short of giving this thing CPR.
CPR, yeah.
And that thing, I mean, it was as white as that tablecloth.
That sucks.
And Zach somehow brought this thing back to life to the point, there was 4 times where like, hey man, should we just cull and throw this one back? And I was like, and we're like, no, dude. Like,
and it was a good one, right?
It was a good one too.
Yeah,
it was a good one. So, and dude, we kept that. I mean, like whatever, G juice or whatever I had, I'm just sitting in there like, oh, just give it more G juice, it'll be fine, it'll be good. And we brought that thing back to life, and we were able to weigh it in, and it swam away, and we were good.
Zach says the Lazarus fish right there.
I love that, man. Dude, we sweated that fish the entire tournament. All 8 hours, sweated that fish.
No, it's that. I mean, I get it. Especially in a tournament situation. Yep. Like, you want to keep them alive. You don't want to take the penalty or even just have it completely, pulled from your record. So, I mean, that's my opinion. I 100%
It was also Zach's first time fizzing fish.
That must have been hilarious.
It was pretty funny.
I've yet to do it, but I can only imagine.
It was pretty funny. It was kind of like both of our first time, like actually doing it for a tournament. And he might have missed on that one the first time, and that might have been kind of the reason why we're having an issue.
Could be.
And so
put that needle a little bit too deep.
A little too deep, and
it was just standing there like
poked it right in the fucking eye. It was like, oh, all right, the air's coming out, and but no, we saved that fish, and he lived to see another day, and he's hopefully swimming around in the St. Lawrence River.
That's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing at all. We do need, I need to load up the fishing headlines, because we do have some headlines to talk about tonight. Fishing headlines open. All right, there we go. We got that on deck for you. And we'll go back here. All right, next one. What is the next Unpopular opinion. Oh, this is the last one. If we insist on making fishing a dick measuring contest, 100% bank anglers will win every single time. If we insist, bank anglers will win every single time because of this. If you have a boat or a kayak, make a list in your mind, mentally, right now, of your favorite fishing spots. There's probably 25 or 30. There's probably hundreds of them. Who knows? Take that number and divide it by 10, and that's a bank angler. So if you know a bank angler who can get it done, like, they're the John Holmes of the situation. You know what I'm saying? If we're gonna make the fishing overall a dick measuring contest, I feel like bank anglers are gonna take it almost every time. And I'll give you an example. Dave Shade.
Oh, God damn.
Dave Shade has thrown down in more multi-species scavenger hunts than I could even count. And when he gets into the opens, everybody's fucked. Everybody is absolutely fucked. He is, John Hagen's. He's on the bank.
Yeah.
Absolute animal. Like, I feel like I can learn so much from that guy because you only have so much real estate to play with, so you have to maximize absolutely every little bit of it.
So I'm going to play devil's advocate with this a little bit.
This is what I wanted.
So I think this has to do with geographic locations. So here in Massachusetts, let's say, or even New England, I think you're better off in a boat or a kayak than you are on the bank.
In Mass or just New England?
That's what I think.
I don't know, because I feel like it...
All right, we got some disagreements.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and pop this camera up over here. Now, you guys probably can't see this. I'm going to try and finagle this so that you can.
All right, so we got Dan here. So, Dan, why do you disagree? Why do you disagree with that?
Because there's great bank fishing on Cape Cod. You got all the
Okay, so you get into so are you talking about the salt or the freshwater?
freshwater. You got a bunch of backwoods kettle ponds down there that
true.
nobody can get to.
Okay, all right.
You know what?
Okay.
You just made a really good point, Dan.
Yep.
You just made a really, really good point. All right, let's pop that camera back over there. That is good. Anybody else got any feedback that they want to give?
Yeah, we got Binya here.
Binya, all right. What do we got, Binya?
So as somebody who traditionally fishes out of a kayak or a boat, I have the biggest fish I've ever caught. I've been in like 40-acre ponds. I fish Champlain. I fish some of the biggest lakes, and some of these 40-acre ponds don't have ramps, so you can't get into them.
That makes it very, very tricky. Yeah,
so
100%.
You do have that advantage on the bank.
Yep. Yeah.
I'll be honest. I didn't bring that in consideration.
Although
I'll be honest.
I will say I do think that there was one thing that came to mind immediately when you said like other parts of the country. What I was thinking like residential ponds and things like that.
That's a little bit different. But here, we got topless Timmy.
Topless
Jakes.
Timmy
He's
Jakes.
got something to say.
So if you're really talking about a dick measuring contest, from bank anglers to boat, kayak people,
everyone just slap it on the table right now.
Bank anglers don't have forward-facing sonar.
Well, they don't. They don't. But if they can...
I'm just saying.
And that's what I'm saying. I feel like that fits right into the argument that I'm making over here is that without utilizing a lot of that technology, you know what I mean? That makes what they're able to accomplish even more of a whap kind of situation. You know what I mean?
Wild Bill has something to say.
Wild Bill, preach.
So if we're really talking about a dick measuring contest, I'm out. But if we're talking fishing, I'm going to go with a kayak because you have the best of both worlds. You can get into the shallows, you can get into the weeds, and go to the deep end. So the spots you can get from a bank that you can't get from a big boat, you could still hit those spots with a kayak. So
I feel like you do have and I know, see, Sean's not on the show anymore, so I can use the term advantage because it is English, and I will use it. But I will say that I think that overall, you make a really good point, but I feel like it's not about the best of both worlds. It's commanding the most out of the least. That's why I feel so strongly about this.
So it's kind of crazy, Bobby, because like I think Bill kind of has it because you and I both know that one of my favorite places ever to fish, I can only get in there with a kayak.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I did, again, not something I thought about. But
And I'll be honest, like to go to Dan's point as well, like a lot of those kettle ponds that are out on the Cape, just one very, very legendary one, I would say, specifically, is one where, you can't access it there without a kayak unless you're fishing from the bank. But I 100% agree. Like, if you have a kayak, it gives you that. So I think I'm going to throw another.
We got one more. We got one more. Bobby.
We got one more. What do we got?
We got Bobby here.
We got Bobby.
Hi. I think that bank anglers would win every single time, considering grown people with sonars and all different equipment are complaining about not catching more fish and bigger fish. When I caught a 17-inch crappie at 14 from the bank.
Dang it! I can't argue that, Bobby. I can't argue that.
Bobby is the youngest baby boomer I have ever seen in my entire life. Wow, that is amazing right there. Did we discover time travel? Is that what's going on?
I think we did.
I will say this, and this isn't necessarily an unpopular opinion, but this is 100% a conversation that's going to happen, and I'm hoping to actually have this conversation with 3 other dudes while in Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
Darren Wendell from Wendell Fishing, Kayak Fishing Obsessed.
Yeah.
This conversation stems from a post he put out on Instagram recently, and also Jeff and Paul from Aggressively Average Anglers.
Right.
Do you think that there should be like a third category of like those ultra rigged kayaks?
Oh my God, dude! When I was down at ICAST this past year, there was one down there that had it was $35,000.
Yep.
You probably know what one I'm talking about. It was just right around 35, right? It was right around 35 grand or something like that. I thought it was like 39. Oh, okay. So it probably was for a kayak, Bobby. Yeah. It had everything from a radio, multiple angles, forward facing sonar. It was stupid.
So
it was stupid.
I want to have this conversation because these guys are truly they're rooted in kayak fishing so much, especially with the fact that they bounce around from different boat to boat. I want to say this was a PWR, and it was had a motor. I wasn't sure exactly what motor was. Had a motor on it. Had probably the biggest tackle organization system I've ever seen. I don't know if this was a black pack or if it was like something custom. It was absolutely ridiculous, crazy. Vertical rod storage around everything. Multiple screens right in the center. Absolutely rigged to the teeth. And this was my take. I had this conversation with Adam Blomeke. I was like, does it matter? Does it matter? Like, what is the line that changes it from not a kayak, as people like to say? Is it the motor? Because what about that, 17-foot flat back canoe that you can run a trolling motor on? Is that all of a sudden not a canoe?
I mean, that's what I used to do as a kid.
That's what I did too.
You know what I mean?
I had an Old Town
so
with my dad.
I will say it, Bobby. I think I got to eat a little bit of crow after my comment here and kind of hearing some of the people in here. Because there's a place near me that you can't get it. You can't get it. He knows it. You can't get in with a boat. You're only allowed if it is a motor. It's an electric motor. And when I had my kayak, I put it. You and I talk about it. I said, Bobby, you got to go here. You got to go here. You got to go here. It's some of the best fishing I've ever done because nobody fishes it. Absolutely nobody fishes it, and it's just an absolute powerhouse for bass fishing.
Yeah, it is. It's
might have to get another kayak, Meg.
Maybe we can work something out.
Maybe we can work
something out. That's what I'm saying. Maybe we can work something out. Don't get me wrong. I still love my kayak, and there's one body of water that's right near me that does not make any sense to put my boat into. It's the launch sucks, everything. It's just not worth it. But I'll fish there all the time. It's where my current PB is. I want to go back there. Yeah. So it is one of these. Alec knows. Oh, shush.
He never told me. Now I know.
That's our spot. That's our damn spot. No, it is. But it's one of those things where, there's a time and a place. But that's what I said to Adam. I was like, does it really matter? At what point? It's still a kayak hull. Part of the appeal of rigging your kayak is that the book's not written right now. We like 2012, maybe 2015 and on, like it was write your own story, rig it the way that you needed to, because these things weren't necessarily on the market. Now we're in like the middle school stage of kayak fishing where it's a little bit cringy because the features are starting to come together, but maybe it's not necessarily exactly worked out just right, but I think that we're getting there.
So let me ask you, where are my kayak anglers? Raise your hands. All right, so Binya, do you think that the kayak fishermen and the kayak, world, do you think it's getting a little out of hand with the stuff that they're putting on the kayaks?
There's a blend. So what I personally liked about the kayak was it was DIY. You weren't getting a lot of pre-built, this is coming from the factory this way. Now I will say the Flux Jet looks pretty cool and that has some pretty cool features coming from the factory. But you're starting to get to the point where these guys are practically putting 20 horse motors on them. And it's starting to get to be like the XTR, for example. That thing is basically a John boat. That I think its size is really where it starts to change. Like if you get a 10-foot Old Town, you can only put so much on that.
Oh, definitely. It's a real estate game.
It's more about organization and style.
I would say the same thing goes for boats, though, too.
Yeah.
Because you get into a 14-foot aluminum deep V, and it's a whole different ballgame than a 22-foot aluminum hull deep V.
The one thing that was weird to me is when you had to start registering kayaks.
Because of the motor, yeah. Well, here, but there are some states where, regardless, you have to register them, paddle power or not.
Around 14 feet. I'm going to make the Boston
14 foot,
guys.
Rhode Island.
Speak up. So, what do you have about the kayak angling?
I keep it stripped down, so all these like hyped up with the sonar and all that stuff, it's just overkill.
And that's the beauty of it. There's nothing wrong with either choice.
Agreed. I agree. Anyone else? Any other kayak anglers want to put into this? Man,
I think we're good. But
sorry.
Sometimes that's just how it is.
What do you got?
Everything is custom to how you want to fish.
Yeah.
Kayak, bank angling, boat, whatever vessel or whatever access, however you fish.
I would say the only limitation that you have is the real estate that you have in front of you.
Right.
Like,
Right.
I think that's reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Is it more difficult with all that shit in front of you? That's
say that
make
again.
a great point, Kevin.
Is it more difficult with all the shit in front of you?
So,
because like when I set mine up, I had 2 rod holders for just like trolling.
Yep.
And I was like, I kept fucking hitting them with my rods. I'm like, why the fuck are this here? So I moved them back or took them out. And I'm thinking about getting electronics. But I'm like, now, like, I'm going to put it all the way over here because I don't want it in my way of casting. I want it all empty in front of me.
I am so glad you said that, Kevin, because here's what's crazy. When I fish in my kayak,
I don't stand up because I have a fucking 8-foot Pelican.
Yeah,
so
that's smart.
Unless you want to go swimming, you're not standing up on that thing.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't.
Or you're 12. One of the two. You got to be 12. Or you want to go swimming.
Yep.
That's why I stopped kayak fishing, because I went swimming.
Larger one though, but yeah.
It's true. I will say this, that I think that the getting into the real estate is a big thing. Like one of the things that's really popular with a lot of kayak anglers is that horizontal off the boat rod storage. That's not for me, because the day I go to net a fish and I lose 5 or 6 rods because of it, I'm gonna lose my mind. So.
Your rod out of your horizontal.
Yes, that is. It's just one of those things. And when I was initially looking at kayaks, one of the things that I wanted was the storage to be able to put them horizontally next to me, thinking that hey, they're out of the way, I'm not going to cast. That was so cumbersome to manage and move things around. But at the end of the day, it was awesome for travel. It was unbelievable for travel because I could keep 6 or 8 rods on the boat, protected at all times, and be good to go, and then just throw them in my pack, afterwards vertically and utilize them there. But there's no right recipe, because I know plenty of people that utilize that horizontal rod storage off the side. They have no issues at all.
No.
But when I saw that post from Darren, and I saw the screen right in the middle, I was like, nope, that's not for me. But who knows how this guy fishes? I'm curious if that was Darren or not.
Who knows?
In the video, I'm not 100% sure.
At least it wasn't like a kayak setup in the back of a boat.
Yeah, oh my God. That was a whole other thing. That was terrible. But I've been looking forward to this moment of this show for so long because Jigs and Bigs family, it's going to get real. All right, Joe's got a little headline. I'm going to let him take over.
All right, Bobby. So we have a little bit of a different headline. Turns out that there is a new fishing and tackle company coming onto the circuit. Okay. And they deal in more of like high-end and JDM, products.
Yep.
Very niche. But that is going to be AVF Tackle Experts right here that we have here. And that's a new company that I am launching. AVF Tackle Experts. There you go. So right now we are about to we're getting ready to soft launch the website. So just so you guys know, it's going to be higher end tackle, JDM tackle. Not as many SKUs, not the kind of lower end stuff, but it's kind of a way for me to keep my hands busy with my new endeavor. So guys, keep an eye out for that.
Yep.
Again, it's avftackle.com, and getting ready to launch it. I've been spending like the last 3 days just taking product photos and getting stuff shipped in from Japan and all over the place. And my garage is now a inventory warehouse that my wife is wicked happy about.
Oh, she loves it.
I have lots of cameras up at the house.
You need to.
But no, so dude, to be honest, all of you know I had OGO back in the day, and just with my wife's career, my career, it just kind of got too busy, and we kind of had to call it quits because we couldn't put the effort into OGO that it deserved. It kind of grew a little quicker than we expected. It was a little bit more successful than we expected, which is not the reason why you want to call it quits, but that's just kind of the situation we were in. With the Whatnot stuff, like selling on Whatnot, and we talked to tackle and stuff, I just couldn't keep my hands out. I couldn't keep my hands out of the cookie jar.
Yeah.
And so I've been kind of thinking about this. I've been talking about this with my wife, and she's like, trying to think of something a little bit more niche, a little, not as many SKUs. It's not going to be a ton of SKUs in there. It's like I said, it's just more like higher end stuff. Harder to find things, the JDM stuff. So the market's out there.
100%
The market's out there, so I will still be selling on Whatnot. Pretty soon I'm going to swap that over from American Vet Fishing over to AVF Tackle.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
but the brand is so smooth, it all works together.
Yeah.
And that is absolutely awesome. And your customer for AVF Tackle is not necessarily going to be your average everyday fisherman.
Right.
It's going to be that person that's looking to either specifically go for some high-end stuff or to really dive in and look for genuine innovation. Because let's be honest, if anybody is innovating in the tackle game right now, it is the Japanese, and they are absolutely killing it. I mean, between Joe and all the Mega Bass stuff and Bait Finesse Bobby, come on, baby.
My Bait Finesse expert for the website right here.
I'm just saying, I got you guys. Hey, if you have a thing to throw on 2-pound fluorocarbon, I'm your guy. We're going to make that happen.
Yeah, so I'm excited. I'm excited.
Dude, I'm so happy for you, man.
I have 6 months left of work to where, I got to hop into an internship for a while, but I had to get into something.
That's
I had
awesome.
to get into something. I was already worried about. I can't just sit idle and not do anything.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I've been grinding, doing all the product photos, doing all my own photos and everything, and being able to launch it. I got a ton of JDM stuff, a bunch of swim baits, domestic swim bait stuff coming up there, and yeah, dude, I'm excited. I'm pumped.
So, your retirement is coming about 6 months.
So my retirement is actually 1 February of 27.
Oh, okay.
But I'm allowed to do 6 months of internship
Oh,
before that.
gotcha.
So I'm working with a company doing an internship there for
Nice.
6 months. So it's kind of like an early retirement. So
I just have to let Meg know that everybody in here loves your husband. Your husband's an amazing guy, amazing member of this community, and the fact that he's making this leap and has your support is great. But I need to let you know, Meg, that he's going to be a changed man after retirement, because he and I are going to take a trip to the St. Lawrence. We're just going to fish and camp for a week. Probably going to find some great sushi places because, again, we want to represent the Japanese culture as much as possible. But he will come back 40 pounds heavier with a ponytail, reeking of some dank bud, and wearing Birkenstocks or Crocs. I promise you that is happening. 100. He will come back and be a young Jack Black. I'm just saying, be ready for it. It's game on. It is game on. I've been waiting for this for a while.
Yep.
Like, we are talking Joey Diaz level of edibles right there. We still have some of those, right, babe?
Take half, trust me.
We still have some of those at the house, and they have your name on it.
Yep,
We're going to go. It's going to be great.
Perfect. So, yeah, when it comes to AVF tackle experts, there is an Instagram page out there. It's been like hidden. I'm gonna come.
Only the cool kids are following.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Wild Bill's already been sharing stuff, and I'm like, this motherfucker, dude.
I've been real careful not to. I'm like, I'm gonna repost, but
So the only reason why I followed 3 people was because it required me to make a profile. So, but yeah, so that's, dude, it's we're gonna hit the ground running with that. Like I said, as of right now, there is no brick and mortar attached to it, but I also said that with OGO, so who knows what'll happen in the future.
It's always the way.
Yep.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. Congratulations. I think it's going to be great. This just is like one more amazing like cog in the wheel of the fishing community in New England. I think that is absolutely freaking awesome.
I have some stickers here. If anyone, I did bring stickers today, so if anyone wants stickers, come see me.
Oh yeah. Oh, and in fact, actually, there's 2 of these right here that have to go on the rear windows of my truck.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, right up above the OGO ones. Actually, I think is where I'm going to put those suckers. You got to keep it real. You got to keep it real. So we're going to have some fun with this next segment. We're just going to go right into Just the Tip here. And this week, what we're talking about. Well, let's go ahead and play the open, and we'll talk.
Perhaps play a little game called Just the Tip. Just for a second, just to see how it feels. Or ouch, ouch, you're on my hip.
All right, guys. So for today's Just the Tip, for this episode right here, 2026 is here. We're a month in. It feels like it's been 10 months, but we are a month in. And by my calculations, realistically, we are about 60-some days, I think, away from the calendar mark of spring. But in all seriousness, we probably have about 50 days before it's going to be open water fishing for pretty much everybody, realistically. So with that said, let's take a look at the plans for 2026, talk about the things that we want to work on and where we want to go. And this is going to involve all of you. And I want to go and make sure that I've got the live stream in here because I want you guys to jump in as well if you have some goals that you want to work on. I'm going to go ahead. I'll start here. I have 2 things that I'm working on right now. The first one is this. A couple years ago, I took a dive into getting into large swim baits. And that was something I wanted to dabble with. Yep. And I played a lot in my safe zone there. Big wake baits. Big 4, 5, 6 ounce wake baits. Bruce Gillis is one of my favorites. What's another one of my favorites? Oh, like the big rats. I love those. But I've been I've only toyed around with glides for a little while. And
they scare me, dude.
I'm lucky.
They scare me.
Because of some of the connections to the show, I've had access to get into really tiny glides, more conventional size glides, and big Mondo glides. And I think, remember we talked about that being that every time you're out, give it an hour?
Yeah.
That's going to be my give it an hour bait.
Okay.
That's going to be my give it an hour bait. Now, the other thing is, and my other goal, and this is a big one, and I kind of make this a big one every single year, but this year I'm going to lean in. This is my wife. And I am going to try everything I can to get her absolutely ate up with fishing at all. Whatever it takes, I'm going to try to get her out on the water with me on the boat and actually not take a nap and enjoy it. Yeah, she can take a nap if she wants. Hey, maybe while I'm throwing around a glide bait for an hour, she can take a nap.
Dude,
that would be great.
Meg's great at fishing for 10 minutes.
See, I say that
she's
Holly
great at fishing for 10 minutes.
will hold a fishing rod begrudgingly. That's as into fishing as she gets. But if I can just, whether if she wants to go out and do saltwater, we will do that. We will splash the implication in the Cape. We'll go and catch some saltwater fish, whatever it's got to be. That is fine. We'll make it happen. But I had this conversation with Becca, and I was like, I have got to feed. She's like, yes, you do. You've got to get her on the boat and fishing with you. I bring the little baby dog all the time. She is so mad at me right now. She is so angry. I am going to hear about this. But Joe, what's the thing that you want to focus on in 2026?
So every single year, I try to get better at a different technique.
Yep.
I try to get confident, better technique.
Yep.
So this year, I have a couple in mind that I'm going to get better at or try to learn. One being the donkey rig. Who knows what a donkey rig is? Yeah. So that's
for the listeners. For the listeners.
Yeah.
Go ahead and explain what the donkey rig is.
Okay, listeners. So what the donkey rig is essentially a fluke style bait that you stick a swivel in there. So you stick a swivel in there, a double swivel. You put a leader on both of them, so you basically have two lines, two leaders coming down. And whatever fluke style bait you want, and you basically twitch that bait, and it kind of looks like a couple different fluke baits, or a couple different bait fish weaving in and out. It's something I've been watching the last couple of years. Haven't tried it yet, and this year I want to give it a shot, but. The other one I say every year is the bigger swim baits. I want to give a shot. Like I said, they scare the hell out of me. For some reason, they are the bane of my existence because my ADD kicks in and I'm like, okay, I don't have the time to cast
I'm gonna
1,000 times.
I'm going to throw a chatterbait or a bladed jig or a swim bait. Yeah.
But one of these days, Bobby, I'm going to get confident with the bigger swim baits.
Oh, absolutely, man.
One of these days.
I'll be honest with you. That's part of the reason why I mentioned the Chad earlier is because in my cart have a handful and I shouldn't. They're the Spro Chads because they're affordable, but I have in my Omnia cart, I have a handful already. I'm sorry, honey. But I know, I really am. I'm saying, hey, Janelle, can I sleep on your couch? Is that okay? I have a feeling that's where this is ultimately going.
Bobby, I know a place where you're going to be able to get some bigger swim baits, just saying.
This is very true. And, it's interesting because this year, I actually started to build a little shred of confidence with throwing a mag draft. And I'm like, okay, this is good. I had a couple of really, really good experiences with a 6-inch mag draft. So I'm like, let's just play around.
You know what sucks about the mag draft? If you don't get that speed perfect, that thing is dog shit.
100%. And
you have to get that speed absolutely perfect, or that thing is just absolute trash.
It takes a lot to throw it out and then learn the motion and the right cadence, and then figure it out from there. But man, it is.
What about for me? It's the big splash.
Hold on. Let's get it on the mic.
For me, when I started throwing these things,
yep.
It was just the huge splash. Like, I know you're supposed to throw it way past where you're supposed to cast, but it was just like when that thing hit the fucking water, it was just like.
And the neighbors heard it. Yeah.
And obviously the cost of them too was a part of it. But I just never got into it.
So I can say because I've thrown the 6-ounce wakes. In fact, Bogley gave me the biggest wake I have, which is 6 ounces on the nose. I don't have a lighter bait than that. But I will say it does not seem to make a difference. You got to chuck that thing. Are you guys taking off? Absolutely. Come here. Say hi to... This is my youngest daughter. This is Ace. Woo! I love you, kid. You're leaving, babe? Yeah, you are. You're driving.
Damn, she mad.
Hey, give her a round of applause. They made it longer than I thought. I figured there was a certain level of dude, and I didn't think just the tip was where they were. I thought you were going to leave before we started the Just the Tip open.
Who had an hour and 3 minutes in the pool?
I got 58 minutes you've been recording already. That is fantastic. Nice. Thanks for coming, guys. Hold on a sec.
Hold on. Go ahead. Hold on. Go ahead.
I gotta make it finish real quick. I've been under a fucking house. I've been under in a crawl space fixing fucking some jackass's fucking frozen fucking pipes, fucking asshole. So I missed it all. And I just want to make appearance real quick. What's up, Johnny Swamps? What's up, buddy? What's going on, guys? So I just wanted to fucking come in and say hi to everybody. Tell everybody hello. I did some DMT a little bit while ago, too, so I'm really happy. Just so y'all know. But anyway, what's up, Bogley? Where's Bill at? Billy there, and he leaves.
He's here. Bill's here.
I'm sorry. There's a bunch of slack jaws.
We're getting canceled. Oh my God. Lockwood Fishing.
It wouldn't be a Jigs and Bigs, live show without Lockwood Fishing.
Oh, Lockwood Fishing. I love it, man. I miss that son of a bitch. He sent me, and this is fishy trivia kind of inspired this, but he sent me a piece of artwork that will be displayed on the new and improved Jigs and Bigs live set. So stay tuned. There's some other stuff too that folks have sent in as well, and like my father's giving me lures and stuff, old stuff that will be displayed. So there's a project. We'll get there, but man, unbelievable. So good to hear from him. What about any of you guys? Do you have anything specifically? Throw your hand in the air if there's something you want to talk about, like as far as techniques or something you want to focus on in 2026.
Put your hand in the air. I'm going to go to every single person.
Absolutely.
So this is going to sound dumb, but I live right next to one of the most world-class, well-renowned bass fisheries.
Definitely.
Why are you putting quotes up?
Because
Great Lake.
I have literally fished Champlain for bass 3 times in my entire life.
I fished with you for one of them.
And I was with Bobby for one of them. And I caught a bullhead. I caught one small.
No, you caught a smallie, yeah.
So my goal this year is to actually dedicate some time, because being in a kayak, I'm always like, oh, it's too windy. I'm always making too many excuses. So this year I'm actually locking myself into trying every other weekend to make some Champlain set, because there's 150 ramps along my shoreline that I can find somewhere.
And there's so many bays, man. Yeah, 100%. That's a great one.
That's a good one.
I think.
Let's talk about Lake Champlain, everybody.
Yeah, Lake Champlain is a killer fishery, and like anytime somebody chooses a specific body of water they're going to sink more time in, I think that's 100%. That's commendable.
Here we go. We got Kevin from Biohazard Bassin.
I got to put the light setup down. I only take it out sometimes and just go out because I know I'm going to catch fish, and I just need to use more baits. I have subscription to Dark Horse, and I never use any of it because I'm using the same fucking bait every single time.
What bait are you using every single time?
Euro Tackle V Vibe.
Dude, those
all right.
They're great.
Yeah,
And
they are.
It's nice because they are very, very effective. Those are killer baits. Those downsized baits, I'm in the same boat. Lots of times I will be like, okay, they're not biting here. I'm going to downsize significantly. And it's, in a way, like, I guess it's kind of a crutch. But, like, if it's working, then it's working. But
I'm going out for fun.
Yeah, 100%.
I want to catch something.
100%.
I catch a rock bass.
Exactly. What do we got? Who we got over here, Joe?
So I want to know what Bill has in store this year, since he's putting his 9-iron down and going to get back in the fishing community. So what's your goal for fishing this year, Mr. Wild Bill?
What's your PB?
All right, Jay, what do you have?
My goal is a new PB, but right now my goal is to beat your PB.
To beat your PB. So I watched you beat my PB and then lose it that time.
Oh!
Remember that?
Cancel Jigs and Bigs.
Cancel the show. It was a 9-pounder.
It was all of 11. It was all of 11. I watched it. I saw it come out of the water. The head was the size of the table. I couldn't believe it. So, anyone else? Come on. Throw your hand. Okay. Topless Timmy Jakes has something with the pepperoni nipples.
Oh, Jesus, here we go. So my goal this year, I mean, I've been out fishing with Bobby quite a bit. I want to get out there again. I have the summers off. So this summer I want to get out and fish with, who the fuck is Joe Brown?
I think you should.
Let's do it. I'm in. Let's do it.
I always wanted, to feel what it's like to be in an icon.
Right?
Okay. All right.
And then the other thing is I want to go golfing with these two guys. I heard them on the podcast saying they were golfing too. So
yeah, they're into golf. I mean,
I used to golf a shit ton before I got back into like fishing full time. So I am still dog shit at golfing and fishing.
There's nothing wrong with
that. Two of the worst hobbies. The wives don't like fishing and golfing too much, right?
That's right. So me and topless Timmy Jake's going to be on the icon. He has to keep his shirt on though. That's the rule.
I can't make that promise.
That is.
All right, looks like we're going right in the spring when it's still a little cold out.
Yeah, go late March. A nice St. Patty's Day scent. Although I want to say there was one time I was out with Tim, and it was like October or November, and we were killing him dragging like football head jigs on these rocky bottoms. And he was just like, I got to take my shirt off for this picture. And I was just like, you are nuts, man. You are
At least
absolutely
he doesn't take
nuts.
his pants off, I guess.
That's me.
One time.
One time. All right.
One time. I'm on a list forever.
Bobby, we have Bobby that has something for us.
What do we got, Bobby?
My main goal is to outfish my dad for the second year in a row.
For the second year in a row. Wow. Bobby, how long is the walk from here to East Longmeadow? I'm just curious.
Dad, do you have a
From
rebuttal?
the bank, she says.
Does Dad have a rebuttal?
I got the PB of the house, so.
Sounds like you're sleeping outside, kiddo.
Oh, man. I have had the pleasure of fishing with both Bobby and Joe on the implication at Congamon Senior, actually.
Uh-huh.
And, man, we had a great time until we got rained on. We need to do a redo, although we did go to Partners, have an amazing breakfast because that's what you do when it's dumping buckets and it's a little bit cold. I think it was like August we went, something like that. It was chilly for August, but it was brutal.
So here's another goal, Bobby.
Yep.
I cannot figure out Congamon Senior for the life of
me. Me neither. Same thing. I can't.
He's
the guy. He's the guy. 100%.
I know where we're going there, Timmy. Yeah. I know where we're going then.
You guys can go practice the donkey rig together on Congamon Senior. It's true. It's true. That's what they say. That is what they say. Zek chimes in. Metal Jones says, he goes, I'm going to master punching this year. Dude, if you've got...
That's great.
If you've got the area where you've got the ability to punch, like, that is one of my favorite styles of fishing right there. And it's painfully slow to go and pick apart a mat. You know what I'm saying?
It's boring as shit.
Benny says punching can be tough. And then Eli says, what's your punching setup to Zek? The goal... Oh, hold on. Brody says, my goal is to beat Bobby in the slot tournament.
Oh,
Brody.
More shots fired. Brody already has. Brody already has.
Hold on. Brody, that should have said, my goal is to beat Bobby in the slot tournament again. He is, 100%. It is not difficult.
So, for those you don't know, I believe Brody is now 12? Is he 12 now?
I
11
thought he was
or
13.
I don't think so.
No?
I don't think it. So
Jesus.
Yeah, I think 12-year-old who absolutely goes out and annihilates everybody.
Dude, he has
fishing.
fished more this winter than I have.
He sent me a picture.
Hands down.
Every day I fish.
Yep.
Yeah.
Insane.
He's killing it. He's doing great.
He's a problem.
An absolute freaking hammer right there. Who was it? Eli says, I need to get better at skipping docks. Eli, if I could offer any kind of suggestion for that, start out with a wacky, on a spinning combo. It is infinitely easier to get the mechanics, and then you can work up from there. My skipping sucks. I have a friend of mine, the guy I was in a band with years and years and years ago, and I keep telling him, we got to fish. This is my buddy Jared that drives a Subaru, and he's vegan and all of that stuff.
That's when Bobby was in a boy band.
Yeah. Yeah, we were called GFY. But I keep telling him, I was like, we got to go fish. He sends me these videos of like, you know, these guys that can skip like ridiculous. They skip and it's like 30 or 40 skips before it goes under the brush line. He's like, do you ever do that? I was like, not exactly like that, but I can do it. I can get 4 or 5, you know, I mean, it's effective. It's definitely not as cute as the way they can pull it off. But get the mechanics, Eli, and then start. He says, I can skip a swim jig. I think if you can skip a swim jig, you're already giving yourself more credit. 100%. Subaru, vegan, ew, Pat Martin says. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Try the Subaru, too.
Yeah, who is it? There was somebody that showed up here tonight in a Subaru. That's right. That's right. I was, my God. Oh. So what else do we have here for any other goals? I think that about does it as far as
anyone
that.
else in the crowd. Come on.
Anybody else
I
got
want
something?
one more.
Goals of 2026. Anything you want to dial in on?
You got
something you want to?
There we go.
Oh, we got one. We got one, baby.
Me and these boys are going to kick it over at the New England Expo, by the way. They just don't know it yet.
Come on by.
Yeah, I want to get a big old New England's River Smalley on a big crawl.
Oh, yeah, dude, a big crawl. Hell yeah. And
wait a minute. I know a guy for that.
He says
there you go. Okay. All right. I like it.
I
love the New England River Smallies.
Yeah.
I got a couple spots.
I'm telling you. I have a bone to pick with the St. Lawrence specifically. And
yes,
I do. I really do. So I think what we're going to do, guys, we don't have an FTG for this week. I think what we're going to do is just a fun little live well segment here, a live one. So folks that are on the stream right now, checking it out, go ahead and throw some live well questions in there. Of course, Eli's been in the chat since we're in the social hour. He has submitted a question. We'll go ahead and jump into that. But let's go ahead and I need to play the open here because I am just not, I'm not with it. Let's go ahead and do it.
All right, grab that big one first, will ya? Bro, we killed it today.
Goddamn, he's a motherfucking beast. Shit, he got more fight now than when we hauled him in.
Watch it. Don't let him jump out of the tub. We lose him and it's over.
Relax, bitch. I got him. You get the scale ready. We're taking this one home, no doubt.
Hi there. Welcome to the Live Well, where we crack open a ramp beer and attempt to answer all of your burning questions.
AI is incredible. It can teach you how to fry an egg and even write a poem, pirate style. Yarr! But it knows nothing about your work. Slackbot is different. It doesn't just know the facts. It knows your schedule. It can turn a brainstorm into a brief. And it doesn't need to be taught. Because Slackbot isn't just another AI. It's AI that knows your work as well as you do. Visit slack.com/meet Slackbot to learn more.
Good morning, Crust. It's a great day to be a bread brother.
Ugh, mornings are not my jam. Or jelly.
Oh, come on. Stop loafing around.
I just woke up feeling hollow inside.
Psst, just grab one of the new Morning Uncrustables sandwiches, like Bright-Eyed Berry or Up and Apple, filled with 12 grams of protein and tons of deliciousness. Crust, what are you eating?
It's just granola, not even yogurt.
No crust, no fuss. Uncrust your mornings.
All right. This week's Live Well segment, I got to tell you, if I'm being honest, out of 300 episodes, right? 300 episodes we've been to.
Yeah.
This is the best thing we've added to the show.
I love it.
Since then, this is slowly becoming one of my absolute favorite segments. So we're going to jump in right now. Jigheads and folks on the stream, go ahead and jump in if you have a question for the Live Well, we'll go ahead. But we're going to jump in right now. Eli put one in here. He says, what has changed and what have you gotten more... Hold on, let's put this on screen. What has changed and what have you gotten more dialed in over the years now that this is your third Jigs and Bigs celebration party? And that's a great question. So I can say this, Eli. The comfort level of being able to pull this off, take a handful of notes, and actually do a full show in front of a crowd of amazing folks like this has gotten a little bit... I've gotten more comfortable with it. putting together this show, you got to understand, when I started Jigs and Bigs, I was coming from a very green perspective when it came to fishing. Like I only had so much experience. There were still techniques that I was looking to dive into that I had never even touched. And now I'm at the point where I've dabbled a little bit more and there's a comfort level. I feel a little bit more comfortable having a conversation about my opinions on stuff like we did today in the first segment, going over all that. But the one thing is, and I will say this, is that every single time we've done one of these live events, there's always been a new twist or a new spin. For the first year, it was our first year, obviously, doing it. I think it was actually the first live thing we had ever done as a show. The one we did the 100th year, or the 100th year.
That was
my
here.
God.
That was here.
It was here. The 100th
year.
100th episode, that was here. And it was the first time we had ever done anything like that. And I can remember there was a moment where Sean and I walked out of that door over there during and I was doing the open live, and I was like, this is messed up. I should have pre-recorded this. I didn't even think about that. And we start walking in, and I was like, there was a moment where I think if you go back and listen to that episode, I look at Sean, and I was like, so what the fuck do we do now? And I'm like, I had no idea what to even talk about. I was like, I didn't even think about all this stuff. Get to the 200 episode, and, there was a lot more preparedness that had gone into that. We had talked about some of the flow. We did that breaking down fishing stereotypes, the tier list, and all that. That was kind of went on over like a fart in church, but we did it. It was a different sort of element that we brought there. The game dinner itself was kind of crazy.
Yep.
Live and learn. We also learned like where we're not going to do our stuff, and we came back this time around to where it worked. Back to Nathan Bills. Yep. And now the new thing here is the streaming and the video aspect. All that, you guys being here and the whole video aspect is just that's what's totally, totally new. So there's always been an evolution. What about you, Joe? Because you've been with the show now for 2 years.
You just brought me in for the pretty face, Bobby.
That's really what it was.
Yeah, that's all it was.
That's really what it was.
You
can't blame me though, right, Meg? You can't blame me.
Look at this mug. Yeah. It's so funny because I'm the most some of you may not believe it, and I talk about it on the show. I'm the most introverted person on the planet, and this kind of makes me come out of my shell.
Totally, it does. Those don't hurt.
I want to crawl under this fucking table right now and just hide from everyone, but no, dude, I love it. It's given me the opportunity to learn a lot from those that are out in the Jigs and Bigs community. I'm a very amateur fisherman. And I learned from all of you guys, and I super appreciate that. I've come to meet some of my closest friends.
Yep.
Just the community is it's just so humbling, dude. And I absolutely love it. Bobby he does all the technical stuff. He gave me 2 things for today, and I fucked both of them up. So I had 2 things to do today, and I screwed them both up. So that goes to show you where I am. So no, Bobby, I super appreciate you bringing me in. Around the 200th episode was when I came in, and
it was, yeah.
Yep.
It was crazy, man.
I'm here. I love it. I'm loving the Friday nights.
Friday nights are the best.
The Sunday mornings. So I'm sure you guys, especially the jig heads. I see a bunch of jig heads in here.
Yep.
Bobby and I's demeanor is a little different on Sunday morning than it is on Friday night.
Oh my God!
Just still get the sleepies out of her eyes, but Friday nights have a couple cocktails, let loose a little bit more. And
I feel like those shows are just more fun because I still QC the show every single Tuesday morning. I listen back and I skip through some segments, and I'm like, man, you can tell we are absolutely having a lot more fun. It was worth opening up that Friday night to do it 100%.
Yep.
We do have a couple of questions that have been coming in from some jig heads. We got, who is this? Desert Art Outdoors says, have you done the studs contest yet? Had to drop the wife off at work. We have not done the certified stud drawing yet. That is coming up. That's going to be actually after we do this. We're going to be doing that and some online prizes. Eli chimes in with another one. He says, what country would you love to travel to? It could be to catch bass or other species.
Easy.
Yeah, go for it.
Ooh, there's actually 2 of them.
Go for it.
I want to go to the Amazon, catch the big peacock bass.
Okay, yeah.
But I'm a huge Jeremy Wade fan. I'm sure you guys all know who Jeremy. Yeah, there you go.
Hell yeah, baby.
Dude, I want to go to Africa for the tigers and the perch out there. Those giant.
I could totally see that.
Yeah, those giant. Shit. There's a name. Nile perch. That's right. The Nile perch. Yep. Hold on. I'm gonna go on the crowd, Bobby.
While you're going out there, I'll tell you the country that came up today. I was live on my way here. South Africa. South Africa.
Yep.
We had somebody in the live today that was just like, I just caught a monster bass, had a big bite taken out of its head from a croc. And I was like, where the hell are you? And he was like, South Africa. And I was
not
like,
Connecticut.
Yeah, not Connecticut.
All right, what you got?
I was just saying Nile perch.
Oh, Nile perch. Okay. My bad. I walked all the way over here for that. Yeah, dude, I grew up watching Jeremy Wade, and I actually read. If you guys haven't read or listened, I say I read his book, but I actually listened to it because I'm lazy. Yeah, the audio book, Jeremy Wade's book is absolutely awesome. What do you got, Bobby?
Lockwood chimes in and he goes,
I got a question. Who would be better at their craft, Bill Dance in bass fishing or Jeremy Wade in all-around fishing?
Oh.
Ooh.
That's hard, Bobby. That's a tough one.
I'm hot take.
Give Bill Dance a wake bait.
Oh wow, that's a tough one.
I think
Bobby.
I'll be honest with you. I would say I love Jeremy Wade. He's an absolute badass. He's inspiring.
Yeah.
But Bill Dance is infinitely more entertaining.
Okay.
And
all right.
I would watch Bill 10-1 more than I would watch Jeremy Wade.
Yeah, I just love when it comes to Jeremy Wade. I love the scientific aspect.
Yes,
of it.
I agree. But it makes sense also.
That was a great question. That just kind of fucked up my brain a little bit.
100%. Jeremy Wade is he stopped producing that show because he ran out of species to keep it interesting. But when it comes to Bill Dance, I could watch that motherfucker hit his shin on the trailer hitch every day, and it would be like the first time, I promise you. It's just, the bloopers alone. The bloopers alone are absolutely fantastic. Yeah. Lockwood chimes in with a place he would travel to. He goes, black bass of Papua New Guinea. He says it's the new gold rush of fishing all and
Oh, God.
I got
Bobby, you didn't QC that first?
No. I meant...
Dude, here, Bobby was just Ron Burgundy.
Cut that.
Bobby was just Ron Burgundy.
Go fuck yourself, San Diego. Oh my God. So Dave Urquhart chimes in. He says you guys should both come to California and do this again. That is happening.
I want to go there so bad.
Post-retirement, for sure.
Yeah.
And once I can although I will tell you what. I remember last year, I was like, man, this has been a rough year. This year's been pretty good. And I may be taking some time to do some significant traveling, 14, 20 days, something like that.
Yeah.
So I might be able to pull it off. It won't happen this summer, maybe in the fall. But I'm talking about doing some stuff, and a West Coast trip would be absolutely amazing.
Clear Lake
100%.
is still on my bucket list.
Yep.
Still on my bucket list.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Speaking of river smallmouths, this is Mark B. He says, speaking of river smallmouths in New England, in the spring, do you like to start at the top of the dam, pondish water, or at the bottom where the river is flowing? Ooh, in the spring. Yeah,
I'm gonna be closer to the river.
You're going to be in the current, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would probably start there as well. Especially in the spring, it might not be where I might be playing a game where I'm just hoping to line up with when they start getting really active.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the fall, I'm probably going to stick around near the dam for the most part, or closer to some of that deeper water. Let's see what else we got here. I miss, Pat Martin says, I miss Sunday nights, to be honest. You know what I miss?
What?
Buffalo nonsense, man. We should have done a Buffalo nonsense
We should
dinner.
have did a Buffalo nonsense.
And Binya's a believer. He's had the Buffalo nonsense.
We got it, Bobby, we got it at my house, and we were like,
telling
This actually is really good.
Let's see. What do we? Joey Swoltz. Look at the black bass in Papua New Guinea.
I will.
Oh, let's see what we got here. Oh, Lake Mojave. Lake Mojave, come to the desert for some smallmouth. That is oddly one of the places I would like to travel. It's not another country. Dude, Arizona.
I will say,
Arizona.
Bobby. I will say, Bobby, it shocks me at how many whatnot purchases I get from Nevada and Arizona.
Yeah,
a ton of them.
Yeah, it's there is a scene going there.
Yeah.
Dink No Stink Fishing is from out that way. He's in Nevada.
Yep.
There's a couple of other folks, but I was listening to an episode of Serious Angler, and they were talking with somebody from a local DNR type agency, I believe a biologist.
Okay.
Specifically about Roosevelt Reservoir. And the projected numbers of double-digit bass that could be produced out of that one fishery, things are lining up just the right way. And I'm telling you, it's a long drive, but my goal is to go to that part of the country in the Southwest, camp in a ghost town, and fish for double digits in like that type of area right there. Just 100%. Who is this? Oh, man, it's Bobby. He says, do a hot chip challenge for punishment in a jig head tournament. We have a couple of counterparts who were here during the Da Bomb challenge, and I feel like we're all a little bit closer for it. You know, I will say the hot chip challenge is a walk in the park in compared to what we did. We could 100% do a hot chip challenge. We could do a hot chip challenge, grind it into powder, and put it in your eyes. That's how hardcore we are. And I'm talking about the Hookset Hoodlum fam, Delirious Angler, myself, you know.
What about the bull testicles?
Dude, the Rocky Mountain oysters are fantastic.
Should
we do another challenge like that? I mean, I kind of had a challenge last year with Binya last fall when we did the Alabama Hot Bag Challenge.
I still have nightmares from it.
My boat still has like little chunks of like peanuts and it's boiled egg and stuff. It's terrible. You know, those vacuums at the Golden Nozzle only take so much out of it. It's the carpet. That's the problem. It's the carpet. Let's see. Oh, I didn't realize this. Metal Jones says, I fished the Roosevelt. It's amazing. Saw bighorn sheep smashing heads off a cliff. See, that's just some epic shit. That's just some epic shit right there. Let's see. We got Thomas Reynolds. Tommy Reynolds says, my goal this year is wade fish and float trips for smallies here in West Virginia with his brother Nathan. If you guys aren't familiar, Nate and Tommy Reynolds are they represent Pig Jigs. And we've got an amazing prize that we'll be giving away from Pig Jigs in just a little bit. And they are just amazing folks. They're based out in West Virginia, and I could definitely be. That's a trip I could make happen. West Virginia's not
Bobby,
too far.
I got a question for you. And this kind of goes off of Zek's comment right here.
Yep.
What is the coolest thing you've seen while you were on the water that was off of the water?
Oh, the coolest thing I've seen that was
while you were fishing.
While I was fishing, that was I know exactly what it was. So I was fishing oxbow, right? And I was tucked way in the back. This is weedy area that I like to specifically target. It is. There ain't no fish in there. And I like to pretend that there's big pike back there, is what I do. I saw a massive mama black bear with her 2 cubs up a tree. And I'm like, fucking sure glad I'm on this boat right now. Because that could get loosey-goosey right there.
Dude, Bobby, we've had Mama Bear come right up to our deck and like chilling our, nose up to our back door.
Oh man, my wife has gotten. She bought this dog food that the dogs will not eat.
Okay, all right, must be good dog food.
They won't eat it at all. Like I don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Okay,
these dogs will eat anything, and she decided, I'm going to put it in the yard. I'm like, don't do that. It's gone. It took one night. I don't know what it was, and I'm seriously considering putting a camera back there just because now I'm curious. I live in like the burbs. Like I have houses all around me. But I've seen foxes and stuff. I was driving home from trivia the other night. I saw a big doe take a shit right on the freaking pavement, like fall, like Bambi on the ice. Like that's what it looked like. I only really noticed it getting back up. I was like, you got to be kidding me. So there's nature to be seen.
You know, Bobby, nothing beats checking the cameras on your phone and watching your wife bang a pot with a wooden spoon to get a coyote out of your yard.
To chase away a coyote?
Yeah.
A coyote?
Yep.
That is frightening.
There's a reason why I don't have any more chickens or turkeys, Bobby.
No, I believe it. Marcus. Pour a little bit out for Marcus.
Poor Marcus.
Fucking Marcus.
Hey, in the crowd, I want to know the coolest thing you've seen while you're on the water that wasn't like maybe associated with fishing itself. Janelle.
It is associated. Mike falling because he tripped on his shanty.
That's kind of funny. It hurt. You probably should lift your feet there, bud.
They were frozen.
Pete Stoneman chimes in with a good one here. He goes, I saw two hippies fighting. Funniest thing I've ever seen. They were definitely under the influence of something good. That is...
So mine, Bobby, I think I've talked about it on the show before. I had one of the twins, Jeremiah, with me. We were up on the Connecticut River up north, off Barton's Cove. And there was
place sucks.
There are some goose hunters.
Shitty place.
There's some goose hunters hidden in the woods. I didn't realize it at first.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So there's some geese coming in. We're out fishing, and you can see they're a little apprehensive about. And I ducked down and I yelled to them. I was like, "You better shoot those fucking geese!" And they shot a couple down, and they had a couple dogs, but the flow was pretty high that day from the dam. So we actually ended up going and grabbing one for them and tossing it back to them because their dog couldn't get out there. So.
I have something cool that I saw one time with, I was with Paul, and we were out on Quabbin on a rented boat. This was not the time I almost killed us. It was not, but we were higher than the fucking clouds. And we were having a pretty good day. We actually were having a pretty good day. We tucked into this little...
Pretty sure everyone who rents a boat from Quabbin is high as the clouds.
Baked as can be, 100%. And we were out there, and there was this one spot where we were fishing along this bank. We saw a bald eagle. We didn't even know it was there. You remember this? It just came out of this tree overhead and smacked down on the water, grabbed the fish. And we were struggling at this point. It was shortly afterwards where things kind of turned on. But this bird hit the water so hard and grabbed a fish, and we were just like, fuck that bird.
Jesus Christ.
Fuck that bird.
Oh, Mr. Biddy's got his hand up.
We weren't bitter at all. This is great.
Are you about to motherfuck Janelle right now because you're pissed?
That too, but I've actually got two. So the coolest thing I saw was one day I was on a small pond. I had no idea there was eagles on this pond.
Oh, yeah.
I was chasing the school of trout thinking the bass were going to follow them because it's a stock lake. And I was watching the water, looking at this school of trout moving around, and I look up, and National Geographic style, I've got a bald eagle fly. I felt the wind from his wings come over the front of my kayak as he grabbed the trout next to my kayak.
That's intense.
The funniest one I had a funny one where I came around a shoreline, and I saw a lady come out, and she was going, whoo, and a loon was calling back to her. Well, I fished for another 3 hours, and I got to the other shoreline, and there was a chubby kid that was running out of the building. So these two people were calling back to each other, thinking it was a loon talking to them.
Why has he got to be chubby?
It looked like the kid from Fat Camp that got launched, and he just kept running out. Every time you would hear, woo, he would go, woo, and then they'd run back and forth, and they were calling to each other for like 4.5 hours throughout the day.
Do you think they were baked?
No.
Hopefully not. I'm pretty sure the kid was like 8. But...
The kid was 8.
Now that Biggie got way healthier and lost a bunch of weight, I gotta be like, yeah, because apparently I don't want to be the chubby kid.
Oh my God.
We got Bogley.
Mr. Lockwood wants.
Okay.
Oh God.
Lockwood fishing. Let's go.
We're holding the microphone up. Go.
Hey, there's fucking jackass things, the parachutes that have the propellers on them that those jackass people fucking fly. You ever seen those? You know what I'm talking about? They're a parachute with like a So, first of all, you're a jackass if you're doing that, first of all, because it's fucking just jackassery. Second of all, I watched 3 of those motherfuckers one day over a field right there next to the river, just flying around, yelling, woo, woo, yeah, flying fucking things around, fucking acting like jackasses that they are, flying them. And then next thing you know, all 3 of them got tangled up with each other. Like fucking boatload. And it was from yeah to and all 3 of them fell together right in the tree line, about 100 feet away from me, all hung up in the trees. They were fine. I didn't even fucking acknowledge them. I shouldn't maybe ask them if they needed any help, but I thought they got what they fucking asked for anyway, flying those jackass kites around anyway. But yeah, that fucking shit was wild and fucking pretty cool to see.
Zach goes, is that Joe Pesci? Zach, we need to introduce you to Lockwood because I think that would
never met him.
Yeah, that would be amazing. We need to get a dark horse trip in Crumpton.
We do.
Yeah, I think that needs to happen.
Yep.
Oh, I mean,
anyone else have any stories?
Anybody got some stories they want to share?
All right.
I think we're
if
doing.
I walk
it
it back, I'm staying there. I'm not coming back.
I'm not coming back out. Damn it. No, this is absolutely freaking awesome, man. That was fantastic. Let's take a look. Let me just take a look at my notes real quick and find out how we are. So,
say Bobby does notes. I just wing everything.
Solid live well segment. I think it's time to do a little giveaway. What do you think, Joe?
I guess
we'll go ahead and do this. So the way we're doing this is like this. I'm using this tool called Riffle Raffle. All of our ticket purchasers online or here in person are all listed on here, and we have a bunch of prizes. So we're going to go ahead and start the raffle right now, and we'll announce our winners and find out who is winning what. All right, so we got 8 winners right here. Our first winner taking the Boston Anglers prize pack, which includes some baits, some of those silicone craws, the big craw, the ones that I talked about them on the show and on Instagram before. Koozie and stickers, all kinds of good stuff. Mark Boudreau. Mark Boudreau is watching live right now. He is winning the Boston Anglers prize pack.
Congrats, Mark.
Nice job. Let's. What did I do? I fucked it all up. What am I doing here?
Stand by.
You know what? I gotta move this over here. There we go. Come on. All right, let's reopen it. So Mark Boudreau is our first one.
Just let me fucking
There
do
we
it.
go. There we go. Okay, so second place, this is an HH Customs prize pack. Now, this is a pack of micro finesse jigs. These are some of my favorite finesse jigs that are out there, as well as micro Cyclops buzz baits and some of the Koosh Craw trailers, which are a great counterpart for a lot of stuff. Koosh Craw trailers, Jim Dandy. Jim Dandy winning a prize pack right there. Nice job, Jim Dandy. Nice job, Jimmy. Now that one is in-house. We're going to be sending that one out to Jimmy. Let's see, third place. There was a third winner right there. This is the Pig Jigs prize pack. This is a variety of different pig jigs and plastics. Todd Sefton winning that one. Give it up, Todd Sefton.
Todd, all right.
Oh, this is interesting.
No. Skip this one.
No. This is good. This is good because I believe this is one Connecticut business supporting another Connecticut business.
Oh, okay.
Wild Bill Rogers won an ultimate combo pack from Andy's Heat Your Meat. This is amazing. Barbecue seasoning, hot and heavy SPG. That's like a regular thing. I don't use salt and pepper anymore in the kitchen. It's all hot and heavy SPG. The everything bagel seasoning, both varieties. Oh, dude, it is so good. Mark Serrano will send that out to you. And then the next prize, this one goes out. Oh, this is a really good one.
Oh my gosh.
Hookset Hoodlums, various apparel items, fancy stuff. Topless Jimmy Jakes. Nice job. Nice job. Winning our Klondike Custom Creations pack right here. These are, what is it, a multi-pack of wire baits, spinner baits, and a couple of different plugs. Klondike Custom Creations, Kevin Mahoney. Nice job.
Hey!
Kevin Mahoney.
Now you got some more.
Now, this next one is from Fish or Die.
Yes.
Taylor put together a little bit of a prize pack. We'll send it out to the winner, and that is Joe Mazzaferro. Joe winning. Nice job, Joe.
Oh, man, Bobby's already beating you for the season.
I think that this winner here is absolutely going to love this because this is a really great prize. And again, this one's from Achigan. Okay, if you bleed bronze, man, Achigan is like that's your brand. Lil J, Janelle Orsino, $150 Achigan gift card and 2 packs of custom munchies. Which, for those of you that don't know, a custom munchie, or I should say, the munchies are like a mega fluke style bait.
Yeah,
a lot of versatility. So there's things that you can do that are a whole lot of fun with them, and kind of make.
Not to brag or anything, but Bobby and I got our hands on like some of the first ones ever.
We did. What was the color that I got? Black Shark was the color that I got.
Yeah,
Black Chartreuse. They called it Black Shark. Gross.
Gross.
And they were very much in demand. Like I think you were only allowed to buy 1 pack a day at the expo last time. So
and they had the coolest little setup where they took this like 1987 refrigerator and like set it up with lights and stuff. And in order to go get the bait, you had to open the refrigerator. And
that was awesome.
There. Yeah, and they were in their
Doritos style packaging.
Yep, their packaging was the old school Doritos style packaging from like the 90s. It was cool.
All right, so, we've been doing some cool stuff here. We've been having some fun. But there is one thing. So those are our online giveaways. Like everybody had access to win those. We have some door prizes exclusively for the guests that are here in person. We're going to do those after we start recording. I'm going to make the listeners listen to all that. But we do have something that we have to do here. And that is I have to shut a couple of things off right here. Let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to put the wheel on the screen.
It's because you're not allowed to win again, guys.
That's exactly it. All right. So I'm going to show you guys something on screen, okay? We're going to select the certified stud winner.
Uh-oh.
And this is awesome. Let's talk about what is the certified stud winner going to receive. In that prize pack is a Jigs and Bigs logo hoodie, a Jigs and Bigs logo hat of choice. So either the flat brim that I'm rocking, the trucker style hat like Joe is rocking, or the dad hat. If you're weird, you can do that one.
Like Wild Bill is rocking.
Like what? No. The dad hat is even more relaxed.
Oh wow!
Even more relaxed. So there's that as an option as well. You also get a custom certified stud T-shirt. There's only one of these so far in existence, and the next certified stud contest will be the winner of that will be the one who receives that next one. Let's see, what else do we have in here? A custom box of Bobby's favorite baits. These are things that are tried and true that I have used. I think, Joe, we talked about
It's night crawlers.
It's 100% night crawl. You know what else is? Power bait. It's power bait.
It's power bait,
100%.
night crawler.
Chartreuse garlic power bait all day. And a treble hook that's weighted like nobody's business. And then, of course, Joe and you and I talked about we're going to put together. And actually, this might be a little bit of a good opportunity to plug the AVF tackle experts as well. A little something. And then we've got, what is it? Oh, there's a mystery prize I'm throwing in that is catered toward the winner. Depending on who the winner is and what they're into, it could be a Yeti bong. It could be some fish whistle type accoutrement. It could be a specific bait that I know that they're into, but we know our listeners and we know what they are paying attention to.
Bobby,
what do we got?
I just had something come in.
Uh-oh. This is hot off the press.
We are to give out $100 gift card from Dark Horse Tackle.
$100 gift card to Dark Horse Tackle to the certified stud winner.
Whoever.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it right here. So that is a $100 gift card to Dark Horse Tackle. All right, so here's what I'm going to do, guys. I'm going to spin the wheel. This is the winner. Everybody who's represented, I got to check. Before I do this, I have to check the comments. Is Pat Martin in here cursing us? No, he's not. He's not. He is not cursing us. Let's go ahead and do it and give it a spin. What do we got? Who's the winner?
It's because you didn't submit. Didn't make the cut.
Scooby Steve! Scooby Steve! Nice. Oh, okay, this will be good. And you know what's nice? We can deliver this sucker. Alec knows Scooby Steve. You guys have fished together. Yeah. We can deliver this sucker. That's cool. That is cool. And my brain is already going what this custom little prize might be. Scooby Steve's likes bait finesse.
Does he?
Yep.
Okay.
We've had some conversations. He's a member of Pig Jig Nation.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, Scooby Steve, the winner. Nice job, Scooby Steve. So all of those prizes will be coming your way. All kinds of great stuff. My goodness. Let's go ahead and switch gears again. Go back to this. My goodness. What a fantastic show. What a fantastic show.
Not bad.
Is there
Not
anything
bad.
else that we need to do before we jump into our interview? Because we have Max Lee up next. He's going to round out this episode. Is there anything else that we're forgetting?
Folks coming on the boat with us.
That is on the door prizes.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do that.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a couple of great prizes to give away, too, for our door prizes. Some of those include folks that get a trip out with us. And I am going to say, there's some of you guys here tonight that could win door prizes that are on the implication with me often enough. If you win it, we're going to give it to somebody else. So if you're Paul and Jimmy, if you guys win it, you guys are on the implication. Binya, you're on Janelle.
No one's been on my boat, so.
Only once? I thought a couple of times. Oh, that's right. It should have been twice, but we were iced out in January because it never freezes in Jersey. I remember that. It was part of the plan. All right, so we're going to go ahead and jump into this, and we will see you guys with more Jigs and Bigs following our interview with Max Lee. Hey, thanks so much for coming out. Hope you guys enjoy it. We'll see you guys.
The world moves fast. Your workday, even faster. Pitching products, drafting reports, analyzing data. Microsoft 365 Copilot is your AI assistant for work. Built into Word, Excel, PowerPoint, and other Microsoft 365 apps you use. Helping you quickly write, analyze, create, and summarize. So you can cut through clutter and clear a path to your best work. Learn more at Microsoft.com/M365 Copilot.
New Year, same extra value meals at McDonald's. So now get 2 snack wraps, plus fries, and a medium soft drink for just $8.
For limited time only, prices and participation may vary. Prices may be higher in Hawaii, Alaska, and California, and for delivery.
All right, guys, Bobby Roast Beef here, Jigs and Bigs. And I know, you tuned into this week's show and you were like, this show's going to be an absolute train wreck. It was a live recording of a live event, and there's no way there's going to be an amazing guest in the beef seat. Wrong. We have a great guest in the beef seat, guys. We have, a few weeks ago, you may have remembered, one Mr. Who the fuck is Joe Brown had given us a headline about an angler out in California who had put an absolute tank in his kayak and fishing very meticulously, picking apart some water, using some modern day technology, and just absolutely caught a beast. And we're talking about Max Lee. Max is with us, and we're going to talk about big fish. And because both Joe is here with me as well, because we both have not only big fish envy, but like weather envy, we're going to have a good conversation today with Max. So Max, welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
Thanks for having me on, guys. I wish I was catching more big fish.
Same here, brother. Same here, dude. It's been a rough winter so far. I think once once like the snow started flying a little bit and those temps really took a dive, we're lucky in Massachusetts because we can head east a little bit and go out toward like Cape Cod on the coast, and it's the last place in New England it's going to freeze. But it's I managed to get out one time. It's like everybody knows that my winter is pretty much off the boat for most of the season. So here I am, living vicariously through these guests. But why don't we start off, Max? We normally jump into a conversation about how somebody got into fishing and like how they fell in love with it and everything. We'll get there. But walk us through that catch, like just the numbers of it. What was the weigh-in weight? What were the conditions like? What were you thinking at that time? And then we'll get into like your origin story.
Sounds good. I think one of the big things that doesn't really get brought up anymore, especially with the age of the internet and all that, is it's really all the stuff that leads up to the catch.
Sure.
Personally. And so for me specifically, I work, I'm just like everybody else, I'm a weekend warrior. I work 5 days a week and I get on the water Saturday and Sunday. And so it just so happened that during the specific time of Thanksgiving, was, you get the whole week off for Thanksgiving. Well, I do at least. And so I spent 7 days looking around the lake, figuring out what the fish were doing, figuring out the fish's mood. And then that was 7 days, 8 days before I ever even found that fish.
Okay.
Yeah. And so it's not like that fish actually even stayed there. It would pull up and show up at certain times. It would pull up, and then sometimes it would be there, sometimes it wouldn't be there. It was one of those deals where the weather, we had something called a tule fog here in California. And so it's essentially a fog blanket that covers the entire Central Valley of California.
Gotcha.
And the fog was so dense, the fog never lifted for what seemed like 3 weeks or so. And so on that specific day, it was the actual very first day when the fog actually started lifting, because whatever reason, it started burning off, and, we actually got some sunlight finally. And so, I got lucky, quite frankly, that the weather actually shifted and it changed, and that just kind of made that fish want to bite, and everything just kind of started coming to life because everything had been blanketed in that fog for so long. I was fishing with some buddies. A good buddy of mine, Joseph. He's the guy that actually poured the minnow for me. I was fishing around. We were just hanging out, having a good time. Just no real expectations. Weeks prior, I had multiple 10s that didn't want to bite on the scope, and so it sounds bad to say, right? You have multiple 10s that didn't want to bite.
I know. What a nice problem to have.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, but,
that sounds real tough.
Yeah.
Max, that's us with 2-pounders here in Massachusetts.
It's true.
Yeah, but it's a give and take kind of deal, and so you have multiple 10-pounders chase, and they'll grab the back of the bait, or they'll short strike it all the time, and so in that span, before I found that fish, I had multiple fish doing that, and so I was like, well, what on earth is going on here? Normally, everybody says shaking a minnow and live scope fishing is easy. They're supposed to just eat it, and you're supposed to catch it. But it wasn't that way. The fish were just in a funky mood. So I don't know. I probably had missed shots at like 15 fish that are over 10 pounds, give or take, leading up to that catch.
Max, it's funny because we've had so many conversations on the show about about the forward facing and people being like, oh, it's cheating or whatever. And, I've had to tell so many people it actually can be far more frustrating using forward facing sonar because you see how many fish you're actually missing or miss.
Yep. That's exactly what it is.
They say ignorance is bliss for a reason.
Right.
Like when you know that they're not there, so I can only imagine, man, when you're seeing these. So, with this fish that what was the exact weight that you brought in?
So on the Bubba scale, it was 16 pounds and 1 ounce. I like to round down. All the fish that I do catch, I round down.
Yeah.
Simply because
play it safe, avoid the haters.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. The scale may be off according to the haters, regardless of how expensive and certified your scale is, whatnot.
Yep.
Somebody will always say something, and so anytime I catch, like for example, the month prior to that, the week before Thanksgiving, I caught an 11.8 or something like that, 11 pounds, 7 ounces.
Yep.
And I just caught an 11. Even if it's half an ounce, more, or it's almost the next pound up, I just cut it down. It's safer that way.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And they say fish lose weight, if you put them in a live well, and say they get stressed and they start dropping a little bit here and there. So when you weigh it right away, that's as close as it's going to get. So that is just wild. So let's talk about you as an angler. You mentioned before that you had an 11 previously. Let's talk about you as an angler. Like, how did you discover fishing, and where was it in the storyline where the bug kind of bit you? But not only that, like, what type of an angler are you? Like, do you lean toward like a couple of specific techniques or niches that you kind of fall into, that you specialize in? Walk us through the journey.
Yeah. For me, it started as a kid. It was actually, I didn't start out bass fishing. I started out fishing the shore, and back in the day, we used to take a bobber and a piece of night crawler, and we would dip rock piles and boulders just for catfish. And so literally you would pitch a bobber down there, and then a catfish would come up there and take the bobber down. To me, I consider it almost like flipping, like
in a way,
bass fishing for flip.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very similar to flipping. And so that's where I got my bug into fishing. And then from there, basically, I started dabbling into the bass fishing.
Yep.
My brother, he bought me my first ever baitcaster. That was, like 20 some years ago now. Yep. I was in middle school. And so, I started bass fishing, simple stuff, Texas rig, a drop shot, all your standards, fishing from the bank. I never got off the shore for, I want to say it was maybe like 15 years later when I started making some money. And then I jumped into a belly boat, which is not something that you hear much about often anymore. It's real niche.
Definitely not.
Yeah, it's a real niche group. Belly boat guys, there's still tournaments that happen around here out in California.
Yep.
Belly boat guys still fishing Clear Lake and such. And so I never did the tournament scene until the past like 4 years, I want to say it was.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's kind of where my basis started. And realistically, once I got the belly boat, I didn't have technology on it, obviously. It's kind of hard to run a graph on a belly boat. Kind of looked around. There was a company, I don't remember the name, it's like Fishing Specialties Mount or something like that back in the day. They made a portable fish finder unit, so I could put down scan, side scan, what mapping and all that on the belly boat.
Yep.
And so that's where I started my like real journey into bass fishing, was when I got the belly boat, because it allowed me to, even though I was going slow, and slow to most guys is a kayak slow, but on a belly boat,
it's even
you can only go as fast as how you kick. So I'm going like a mile an hour.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And like holding your position is a whole other ball game too.
Oh yeah. I mean, I had a ton of fun working out my legs when the wind was only 18 miles an hour. going into the wind.
I believe it. For those listeners that don't realize or understand what a belly boat is, a belly boat is like I think there's another term for them,
float tube.
Like a float tube, where it's basically like you stand in it and there's an inflatable that surrounds you, and you are submerged in the water. And you generally are wearing, like a lot of folks will wear flippers with them to kick and get them where they're going. There's a YouTuber, a very scientific YouTuber that I've been into, who fishes in Colorado primarily out of a belly boat, and I think it's primarily for stealth for the most part. That's like the big appeal there, but that's impressive, man. That's pretty crazy. So when was it that you made the the leap into getting into a kayak, but also like bringing in some technology, and then sort of a follow up with that. Where do you feel you are as far as being, what's the word I'm looking for? Like really comfortable with using more contemporary technology.
Before we get to that, real quick.
Okay.
I forgot. I didn't answer your other question.
I remember 300th episode, man. I'm a little hungover. It's all good.
A little slow today.
Yeah, you had asked me what type of angler I am, and I'm more old school than anything.
Yeah.
I've barely, with the technology, I've barely got a good hold on it.
Yep.
I'm not the most well off person. I work and I pay, and then I use my funds to go fishing.
Yeah, of course.
So I've only had the technology for, this is my third year, or third year. So I'm still relatively new to it.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had it since it was out. So, my favorite way to catch them personally is summertime ledge cranking, reaction baits.
Yep.
Like a trap. I love bouncing a trap on the bottom. That's one of my favorite ways to catch them, because once you rip it up and they hit it, it's just like a jig bite, and they just absolutely destroy it.
Yep.
And so, old school fishing is really where I like to do it.
Sure.
Kind of back in the belly boat days, I used to love marking offshore rock piles and dragging a football jig through offshore rock piles.
Yep.
And finding that very specific hard spot where the better fish would be at.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's kind of where I'm with it. So sorry to cut you off.
Oh, no. That's awesome. And that's, what kind of depths were we looking at? Like that generally, like when you're in there, just to get an idea of like the waters that you're fishing.
It kind of depends. Lowland and Highland reservoirs. The one that I like, my favorite lakes to fish are lowland reservoirs, where really deep is basically around like 45 feet, kind of depending on water clarity. But I mean, I've also fished highland reservoirs where I had to fish down to 100 feet for a spotted bass.
It's a whole different animal at that point.
Yeah. My strong suit personally is more so the lowland reservoir stuff, where featureless lakes, you don't really see much kind of deal. That's what I like to touch.
It's so funny too. Like you bring up like featureless lakes, and people either love or hate them. Like they'll look at it from I love that idea, because there's only so much that they're going to relate to. So if you can find it, then you're in business. Then there are other people who are so spoiled, like myself, who will fish, bodies of water where there's like, oh yeah, we've got a bunch of rocks over here, big piles and humps. And then we'll get to this one area and it's just all grass. So there's this weed edge that kind of weaves around here. And don't forget the stumps that are everywhere. It's just, it is crazy. It's a love or a hate situation, I find, with a lot of people, but that's pretty nuts. So go ahead.
Yeah, like for example, I live in California, so the California Delta is right around the corner from me, basically.
Yeah.
And so anybody that's ever seen the California Delta or fished the California Delta, it's so massive and expansive, and everything looks good that it's overwhelming. And so,
definitely. You could fall into that trap where you want to fish it all, and this, if you're going to do that, you got to do as efficiently as possible. No, absolutely makes sense, man. Yeah. Why don't we pick off where we were as far as like your relationship with getting into the kayak, and like how you started to build with technology and everything. And I love like you mentioned, you're not necessarily fluent with it, and you've been into using forward facing for a few years. And I think that people need to hear that. Because there is this idea, we talked about it, Joe, last night, with the older folks just thinking like, oh, I got this new flashy new thing and it's just going to solve all my problems, Yeah.
So the kayak side, my first kayak, I got it 5 years ago. I don't quite recall. The big thing was I had relocated when I was in my belly boat days. I was down in Southern California. I was fishing the lakes down in Southern California. So I had relocated to the Central Valley of California, kind of closer to Sacramento, the Delta. And so basically I got into a situation where I had storage to hold a kayak, not enough to not enough to get a boat, but enough to have a kayak, so you can at least. It's kind of like that next step up from a belly boat or a float tube to where you gain a little bit more speed. You know, you're not quite hurting the bank as much. It's still affordable. I don't have to pump gas every single time in my John boat in order to get it out on the water.
True.
You know, it was better for my scenario.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah, everybody's story is going to be a little bit different. Of what works better for whomever is that's the choice you got to make.
Yeah, and so that's kind of how I got into the kayak thing. It wasn't because I saw some sort of influencer and I was like, well, he has a native or he has a Hobie and I want to get into that. And that looks fun. Yeah, I've always loved fishing. It was just what platform works best for me in my situation to get on the water. And so that started. I spent a year just kind of messing around, kind of like, because once you do the change from a float tube to a kayak and you get to expand on more waters and fish more waters, there's also more to learn,
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. From bite windows to additional techniques and patterns to trigger more fish to bite, because you don't have to just drag something all the time, because you're not limited in the water. You can actually fish a bigger section of the lake now.
Yep. Exactly.
And so, that kind of leads into the technology too. Is my first year ever really fishing a kayak. I just spent the entire year just using my side scan, whatever I found out on the float tube. And the I entered kayak tournaments. I did relatively well. I not the best, but I did okay. And so from there, I took whatever winnings I did get, and then I bought into the technology. I bought Live Scope using it. If I wanted to continue to kayak tournament fish, it's something that I had to learn to stay competitive. Or, at least give myself a chance to be competitive.
Sure.
And so that's where the technology came. And then now, I'm still fine tuning it. I'm by no means am I the best live scoper. By no means am I the best angler at using it. It's a lot of it's time that, I'll go on so prime example, I went fishing yesterday.
Yep. Lucky.
Yeah. I went fishing yesterday. I had 4 for about 18 pounds or something like that. 6 and a 5 and a couple of 2s. It's the big thing is I had a couple of shots at a couple 10s as well yesterday.
Yep.
And they didn't want to bite. But there's like the little nuances to it, as in, I'll say it on here. I don't really mind. There's like a certain depth when those fish on Live Scope, there's certain fish on a certain depth that will eat that day.
Yeah.
And if you ran around it, it's like pattern fishing in a sense. So if that specific fish that wants to bite is in 15 feet and you give it the right presentation, it's going to eat it every time if you find another fish in that 15-foot suspended isolated.
Yeah.
And those are the little nuances. I'm chasing ghost fish. And what I mean by ghost fish is the fish that aren't stationary, you don't see a huge bright return on it.
Yeah.
I'm leading them. And those fish sometimes are actually what you need to do, as in that's the pattern to get bit, because those are the actively feeding fish on that day.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of nuances in it that I think a lot of guys aren't saying quite yet, simply because they're trying to, the elites and all that, they're trying to capitalize on the earnings that they can.
Oh, definitely.
So,
no, I can definitely see that, man. Yeah. What about you, Joe? You have any questions you want to jump in with?
Not till I have a question that I want to save for the end. I think it'll be a good
a good
ending question.
Right.
But no, I think you're nailing it with the forward facing stuff. You're really translating it in a way that people kind of need to understand a little bit better, that it's not just this, God given,
the miracle box,
miracle. So, I really respect that.
Yeah. And I'll even further extend it, kind of going on a rant here. Sorry guys, but it all relates to my fishing, because like yesterday. So the week prior, same lake, same lake, same time of fishing, relatively similar weather conditions. The following week, they were on a dark Nico worm, as in they were willing to chase a dark Nico worm.
Okay.
Whereas this week, they're willing to chase a bigger minnow. And so it's the exact same conditions, but for whatever reasons, those fish, they weren't willing to just, everybody says, go throw a minnow at it and you're going to catch them. Maybe, but I also feel like that's not the entire story. As in there's a nuances to it. Yeah.
I think you nailed it when you mentioned a lot of folks forget that, when they think of fish eating a bait, they're just like, oh, it's reactionary. It's this, but they're wild animals. Like they have a mood, whether they're on, to feed at that moment. Like I think that a lot of folks don't consider that. Like, oh, what are these fish actually looking for? Like what is it? And I think pattern is what it's all about,
Yeah. It's great to hear you say that because, especially after those folks, to include me, I've done this as well. Yeah. When they get a hold of a really nice fish, whether it be a PB or just like bigger than average for the area or the time, they get hung up on that one bait that they caught that one fish on.
Yep.
And, and they will sit there. I mean, live scope, they'll see it and they'll just be almost bouncing off their head all day long, just trying to get those fish to bite, and they won't. And they have to understand that, hey, with the days come the pattern changes. Like the pattern changes by the hour, essentially. And I've done it. I've done that where I'm like, oh, I know they want it. And then, especially in a tournament, you waste an hour, you waste 2 hours, throwing the wrong thing for that day. So,
and there's variables that you have to account for, like we'll say all the time, like, oh, conditions were the same. I mean, maybe not. Maybe that barometric pressure was dropping instead of rising and you weren't necessarily aware of it. Or maybe that subtle wind was in a totally different direction. And it was just something you didn't pick up on at the time. Like, there's a lot.
Yeah. And, I'll throw some juice out there. Everybody's talking about shaking a minnow above their head, keeping a minnow above a fish's head all the time. There's not too many guys that are talking about shaking a minnow on the bottom, specifically during the winter time. Because, really think about it. Like, it's kind of like a 9-bait fish. It's like a blade bait. You can also if you make a long enough cast where you're not actually pinning that fish on top of its head, and you're just working that minnow on the bottom like a dead minnow that's kind of floating through, or bait that's floating through, it's still going to look natural. The problem is when you bomb it out there and you get on top of their head, and then you drop it past them, it looks different because, well, that fish was just swimming just fine, and then all of a sudden it just died.
Yeah.
What happened? What happened to that fish?
Yeah, and for no reason that they could see. Yeah, that makes sense. Almost like when you're fishing a jerkbait or something, you change the cadence mid cast. Guilty. Always guilty. Let's try 4 here instead of 2. Yeah, let's see what happens. No, it's a terrible idea. Man, that's wild. Max, have you traveled to fish much outside of California at all?
I haven't. So when I started doing the whole kayak tournament thing, basically I did as many events as I could because I never had a tournament background.
Yep.
So that first year that I started tournament fishing was my first ever year experiencing any kind of tournaments of any caliber, whether it's small or big. And so I literally fished like 30 events just inside California, like 25, 30 events a year for the past 3 or 4 years now.
Oh, all right.
And
wow.
So
it's a pretty good schedule.
Out. I'm sorry.
That's a pretty big schedule. That's pretty nuts.
Yeah, it was very busy.
Yeah.
And so I didn't really put any time to go anywhere else. Yeah.
Where are a handful of like bucket list spots that you're like, I would just love to fish?
For me personally, there's some lakes in the Pacific Northwest that I want to get to. I'm pretty sure at this point the internet knows about them. But basically smallmouth fisheries specifically.
Oh yeah.
I yeah, I want to catch a really big smallmouth. I've done the largemouth thing. I'm still trying to dial in the spotted bass thing. There's some big spotted bass around here as well.
Yep.
I would like to get one that's over 7 pounds, or well, more like 8 pounds. And so, realistically, for me, it's mainly spotted and smallmouth fisheries for me. I do want to go to OHIV and those places down in Texas where guys are doing the share longer.
Oh, definitely.
Just to kind of see kind of what the fishing is like.
Yep.
I hear guys say that there's just a bigger population of those big fish down there.
Yeah.
And so that's why they keep popping. So I would like to go and at least like see it, or at least go and try to figure something out on my own.
Get that experience for sure.
Yeah, and it's not to pole poach. I just rather go and just go see it. I just want to go see what it looks like.
Yeah. I totally can understand that, because there's these fisheries all over the country that are they're legendary. They might have gotten that way from tournaments or something, where there's just like, oh, this place used to be amazing, 10, 15 years ago, and you would see these huge bags coming from it. And just to sort of like, it's the tourist in me. You know what I mean? Like, I want to go and experience these bodies of water as well. And that's badass.
Yeah.
No, that's freaking great, dude. What's your like fishing day, like your schedule look like? So like you're leaving, this is the most ridiculous question, but I'm sort of ripping this off of another podcast. But I love it. So like you get up, that morning you're headed out. Like most of us will hit like some type of a stop on the way to the water to grab, whatever items we need for that day. Where's the spot that's like your go-to spot? What are you picking up to get fueled up and bring it with you out on the water?
Every morning I go to a gas station and I pick up some gas station oatmeal raisin cookies.
Oh, okay. I can get behind that.
Yeah, that's been my tradition.
Okay. That's a first, I think.
I can get behind that.
I don't know why. It's just, I pick up, it's a 3-pack from A&PM. I don't know if they have A&PMs out there in Massachusetts.
Oh, no.
But,
no.
Yeah. But it's just a 3-pack of oatmeal cookies for $3
Yeah.
And so it's just kind of like a quick pick me up. Realistically, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
I should be eating something healthier, honestly.
Dude, you don't even want to know what I consume first thing in the morning when I'm going out fishing. You don't even want to know. It's terrible.
So I hit the gas station, I pick up an energy drink and oatmeal cookie, and then I go fill up if I need to fill gas, obviously. But that's kind of like been the morning ritual. Every now and then I'll throw in a honey bun, but the honey bun is more so.
Oh yeah,
it's a summertime deal because I like the glaze on it to kind of melt down during the summertime.
Yeah,
and so it's nice and sticky. So every night.
Yep. That's perfect, man. That's perfect. Absolutely. I love it.
I freaking love it, man. Yeah, I have. I forget what the podcast is, but it's a swim bait podcast, and that was one of the questions that they lead with, like, what's that look like? And a couple of the guests, like, they're from all over the country. Like you mentioned, A&PM, like that's something that I have no idea about, So it's like to get in the mind of what that angler's, listen, like what their routine is, my morning routine.
Yeah, I mean, if I had Buc-ee's or Love's or something that was closer on my way to the lake.
Oh yeah.
Where they make these pulled pork sandwiches or tri-tip sandwiches or something.
Yeah, craft jerky and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
I still have yet to step foot into a Buc-ee's. All the traveling I've done, I still have not run by a Buc-ee's.
In April, they're opening one in Ohio. I think in Dayton, of all places. I think it's in Dayton. Yeah, I'm working on a project right now trying to explain the uniqueness of fishing in New England and the thing that it aligns with what makes it very similar because of our layout out here, the way like everything is. We don't have those like massive truck stops like Buc-ee's.
Sure.
Like, we'll never see one. It just makes no sense financially and like as far as logistics. But it's just crazy. Like, you travel the country and it's different for everybody,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's freaking nuts, dude. So let's talk. So we got some, bucket list stuff. We talked about what are you listening to get hyped up on your way to the water?
I don't really put hype music.
No?
I'm more of a podcast guy.
See, I find it's like that. It's like 50-50. It's like, people are either listening to a podcast or they're like, nope, this is the song, and I play it full blast.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, typically I'll jump on the road and I'll throw on some sort of, any kind of comedy podcast. Whether it's whether it's Your Mom's House, Theo, Joe Rogan every now and then. The only time I listen to Joe Rogan is if he has a guest that is UFO specific.
Oh, okay.
And so I'll listen. Okay. Yeah, I'll listen to those UFO episodes. I'm not a big UFO believer, but I just I like to listen. Just kind of it intrigues me. It keeps me awake.
I'm kind of on the same level, Max. I call myself an active skeptic.
It's a great term.
Like, I'm not saying I believe it, but I educate myself to because it makes me very curious and it heightens my curiosity.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you ever experienced anything on the water that was like you couldn't explain? Like that you may have been like a UFO type situation? We've had a couple of people on who have shared some stories. One was a former co-host of the show.
Yeah. Yep. I never had. The only really freaky thing I've ever experienced was a rattlesnake that stuck its head up 3 foot above the water swimming across the lake. That's about it.
Yeah.
But that's not UFO thing.
No,
that's just nature.
Yeah, no, thank you. My God. So, fishing in California. We've talked to folks that fish in down south Florida, Louisiana, parts of Texas, areas like where they've got gators and things like that. Up here, the worst thing we really have to deal with that's kind of gross, depending on where you are in the water, are like sea lampreys that'll come up through some of the rivers. Have you ever seen one of these things?
I have not.
Oh my God. It is nightmare fuel.
They're terrible. They look like aliens.
They have a round mouth with a bunch of teeth that go in a circle, and it is frightening. We have every once in a while, and you'll see them. Some of them will be like 2-3 feet long, and they get up in the river systems and they just like zip right by it, and they just skeeve me the hell out. But is there anything out your way where you're like, yeah, this is the questionable thing to come across in the water?
Snake for sure.
Snakes, yeah.
For me, it's just snakes. Just because I'm in a kayak.
Yeah. Oh, dude, 100%.
Yeah.
And I don't know if these videos are AI, but I've seen some where there's like somebody will be fishing out of a kayak and right out of one of the scupper holes, bloop, something pops up. And I'm like, because I'm one of those guys in my kayak, all the plugs are out. Like you know what I mean? Like I'm not trying to keep that interior dry at all.
Yeah.
Like I want whatever water that I get in there to be able to flow out as quickly as possible. Mm-hmm. But I don't know about that.
Yeah. Yeah, because my biggest thing is just snakes. Just because, we're in a kayak and I can't exactly turn on a big motor and run.
And take off. Yeah, exactly. You're like, what am I going to
do? And so I'm just worried more so the fact that, it's got time on board, and then it's also a small space where I can't run to the back of the boat or to the front of the boat in order to flick it out.
Yeah, you got to handle the situation, which is rough.
Yeah. So besides that, it's nothing too big. I mean, every now and then, on the Highland reservoirs, every now and then we see bears that kind of swim across. Deer swim across. Very natural things. It's
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, nothing abnormal. Yeah.
Do you guys have beavers out that way? Many?
We do have some beavers. Yeah. Not too many though.
Are they aggressive?
Kind of, sort of. Not really though. Like every spring, even on my local lake, every now and then there'll be a beaver that gets in, and every now and then, if you look in the back of the spawning bays, you'll see it slapping its tail.
Yeah, that's usually about as aggressive as they get. But man, I'll tell you, we have them all over the place around here, and if I'm especially in the kayak, because you won't hear them. And then if they're behind you and they slap their tail, oh my God, I've almost jumped out of my seat so many times. I'm like, would you? And like, because it'll be, I'll just be chucking a buzzbait, or because it's usually about that time where it just starts getting dark, and I'm like, you son of a bitch. Yeah.
Well,
they know.
You bring up a great point. Sea lions. Sea lions on the California Delta.
I've heard. Yes, it's a problem.
Yeah. That completely blew past my mind. And Yeah, because I don't know if they ever will. I never heard any stories of a sea lion ever jumping on somebody's kayak. But if a sea lion did jump on somebody's kayak, it's gonna capsize their kayak.
Oh,
weight.
Yeah. They're large, and like I've heard stories where like somebody will be reeling in a fish and it's like just chasing that fish. That sucks. That absolutely sucks.
So I guess I don't know much about this, Max. So do they will swim up into the freshwater?
Yeah.
No kidding. I did not know that.
Yeah, they swim a very, very far ways to basically just eat.
Interesting.
is what it is. Yeah, it seems like as the years progress, it seems like the sea lions will kind of relocate depending on where the mass of food is on the delta. So, there's resident sea lions that just stay in a certain area, and then there's certain areas where you'll see more sea lions, and typically that's kind of like where all the fish are.
No, that makes sense.
Gotcha.
That's crazy. Yeah,
so it's kind of like us when we follow the birds. You guys got to follow the sea lions.
Yeah. But the problem with following sea lions is the sea lions spook all the fish, and the fish don't want to bite.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's no good. That's no good. So if you see one, get away from it. You might catch something. You might cross paths with that school.
Yeah.
See, we're dropping some tips right here. Yeah, West Coast fishing is definitely something that's on my radar sooner rather than later. It's just, to drive all the way out there with the boat, it would eat up so much time. So I got to figure out a way to make it happen though. Because Dave Urquhart, I've been talking with Dave, and he keeps saying, he's like, when, not if, but when you guys come out and fish on the West Coast, he's like, I've got a whole plan of attack. Like, it's all going down. So that'll be badass.
In my opinion, I'm pretty sure everybody knows this, but Clear Lake is a must go to right now.
Yep.
It's on one of those really good cycles, and quite frankly, it's the best place to be if you just want to have a great day of fishing.
Yeah.
As with fishing, obviously, right? Fishing's always tough depending on the time of the year and whatnot. But once you take away that tough time of fishing, it's really hard to beat Clear Lake now. Yeah. They had a tournament where they had like 98 pounds for 3 days. So
okay. All right.
Yeah. So
I can't even imagine, man. I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
That's a freaking deal. So one of the things, Max, we talked about in this episode, actually, we talked about 20, goals for 2026, because we're, I think I calculated roughly about like 50 to 55 days until really everybody's going to be hitting the water hard in the Northeast. And, 2026 on the calendar, already here, like you were just out on the water yesterday. But what are some things over the next year that you specifically want to focus on and tighten up and work on throughout to kind of improve your skill set or pick up a new, maybe a new technique or something like that?
2026, it's going to mainly be a spotted bass fishing kind of deal for me. I've had my fair share of largemouth. I'll still go and revisit my largemouth areas every now and then.
Sure.
But realistically, I want to get that bigger spotted bass, kind of figure out what the spotted bass do, simply because they are still bass, but they act completely different.
Yep.
And so I don't go out and ask guys what's going on and what, I don't talk to my other fellow other anglers to figure out what's going on. I like to just go see and then go figure it out myself.
Yeah.
With or without live scope, with or without the technology. I like to just go and be there and take it all in and then learn from it, or maybe don't learn from it, right? That's one of the big ticket things. Beyond that, I would really need to work on my big swim bait deal. I caught a 13 on our 9.5 inch swim bait.
Yep.
But I by no means have it dialed. There's guys that are really good with it, and they really know what they're doing with it.
Oh yeah,
I'm nowhere near there. Yeah,
it's funny because we just in this episode, I said it myself, like glide baits specifically with me, and I've been lucky because I've got some 7, 8, 9 inch glides for like the larger platform, but I've got a handful that are conventional side, and even I fish a lot with bait finesse, so I've even got some micro glides. So regardless of the size profile, I've got the arsenal of stuff. It's just that technique. And this year, what I'll be doing is taking an hour every single trip and then kind of choosing a glide based on whatever pattern I've got and give it an hour to get on some fish with it.
Yeah. Specifically for me, I'm not a big glide bait guy.
Mm-hmm.
I still firmly believe, kind of like what Butch Brown says. Butch Brown says the biggest bass that you'll probably ever catch is on a soft swimmer. And
and it's also the most natural.
Yeah,
that's the thing. And water clarity has a huge part to play in that.
Oh yeah, very much so.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where my happy space is. I get the glide thing. I understand the draw and all that, but for me, I'm more of a natural present the bait kind of guy. So I really want to figure out your those thin bites and your really big soft swimmers, boot tail swimmers.
Oh yeah, yeah. Throw them out deep and then just like move them right along the bottom. Yep. Yeah, 100%.
And and the thing with that too is you really do need a lot of time to weigh it. Because some of the things I am noticing is if you get it weighed properly, you can essentially get it to swim on the bottom instead of bumping the bottom.
Yes.
And so that's where I'm lacking. I don't have that area figured out.
Gotcha. It's a good goal though. It's definitely, put some time into it, and let's be honest. They perform, I say that I'm one of these people that's like everything catches fish. Like if you have confidence in that technique, you got to just go for it. You know what I mean? It never hurts to pick something new up, obviously, but like, you got to fish the way that you like to fish.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm of the same opinion. A lot of guys are too worried about what's the hot bait, whereas everything works. It's just how you apply it is how you catch those fish. It's not really what bait. Because I caught a 9-pounder on that pink fuzzy dice. So
yeah, that's insane. That's insane, man.
So crazy. Yeah.
I can only freaking imagine. This is ideal because just within the last couple of months, there's been a little bit of hubbub about the Massachusetts state record largemouth. We had a guy locally do a little bit of research, really kind of killing it, Mark Burgess, and he had. The background of this is it was 1975. This record was set. It was a 15-pound, 8-ounce largemouth out of a small kettle pond in the eastern part of Massachusetts, out on that Cape Cod area. And there is a lot of people said there's no way. But the thing that makes those fisheries so unique is that they have a herring run. So there's this spread of bait that will come in that the fish further west in the state will never see. So there is a totally different forage, and the fact that out there you don't have the freeze cycle the way we do further west. So you have a couple of different elements that are there that make you kind of scratch your head. Like, is it possible that there could be fish of this size? But nobody's ever broken that. There's been some that have been close. Well, this story came out, and he had an eyewitness. He was 12 years old at the time, had this eyewitness, and he was like, this fish, the guy that entered that fish, caught it in Florida and drove it up the coast in a 55-gallon tub of water and farmed it in his barn for a little while, I guess, and then they staged the whole thing. So it's a bunk state record, which has led a lot of people to wonder, like, what's the state going to do? What can they even do about it? How are they going to treat this? But like, I think short of that, I think you've seen. So they said like this fish came in at like 15 pounds, 8 ounces. It was something in like the ballpark of like 27 inches long, just an absolute giant largemouth. And I think most of the other records, or at least the ones that I've seen, have been in the 25-inch window, something like that. But it, we're looking for big fish. Can you give any tips? Like I specifically am going out to these ponds in this area, and I'm just like, I want to put myself in the right spot, and I want to, my thought is I'm going to take and look at the forage and try and be as natural as I can and try and emulate it the best way possible, figure out where I can find these fish, and hopefully, a double digit. I'm not even being picky. I'm throwing it out there like I'm looking to break the state record, but what would that take now? Do you have any tips for folks that are looking to catch a giant, like that they can do in preparation, but in advance of going out, and then some things that they can take out on the water with them is like just information or knowledge?
Well, the holidays have come and gone once again, but if you've forgotten to get that special someone in your life a gift, well, Mint Mobile is extending their holiday offer of half off unlimited wireless. So here's the idea. You get it now. You call it an early present for next year. What do you have to lose?
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Limited time 50% off regular price for new customers. Upfront payment required. $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds may slow after 50 gigabytes per month when network is busy. See terms.
That was a tough one, simply because
I know.
I'll be dead honest. Because I live in California, that's a tough one for me to answer.
Yeah.
It's, I get it. There's certain lakes that do have, you have better chances of catching a big fish.
Oh, for
and
sure.
that's kind of why it's tough for me to answer specifically, because quite frankly, in California, you could pick just about any pond or lake, and odds are there's a 10-pounder swim in it.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of hard for me to answer. But realistically, I think it just kind of goes back to the way I feel about it is if you have a body of water that you can catch a lot of good fish, and by good fish, I mean like your 4s and 5-pounders kind of range. If there's too many 4 and 5-pounders, there may not be a really big one. In my opinion, I feel like the happy zone is if you have a good population of small ones, small as in 1 to about 2 pounds, and then a decent population of that better than average grade. I feel like that allows the big ones to really grow. You may not have a lot of big ones, but the odds of you actually having a bigger one in that body of water will probably be higher than if you were to have a lights out, 25-pound bag days all the time on that specific body of water. That's just my opinion. But then it's truly not really fair for me to answer that question. It's kind of like, asking somebody in Texas, where do you want to go fish to catch a 10-pounder? I got
it. That's the thing. I got to take my shot to see what kind of info I can get from folks that have experience catching absolute bigs. And some of it is that I've received in the past is pretty obvious, but I try to apply that to fishing in any way. Like, for example, like when I mentioned, before we started rolling, how I do a lot of targeting different species and all that. And like with the online tournament series that we run, the multi-species scavenger hunt, the primary thing is just pick a body of water that has that species in it. That's number one. And then number two, what I do is, because it's not necessarily based on the size or the quality of fish, it's based on the diversity of the overall stringer. I usually recommend everybody just downsize. So that way they can eat, whatever it is that you're targeting in that situation. But yeah, I mean, you raise a really good point. Like if you're in an area where, and that's exactly it. Like catching a 16 up here, I know how unrealistic that is in my area, but there's a couple of people who have caught 10s that I know personally, and they're there.
Yeah, and if you're just trying to target a big fish in general, I think you just have to look at it from a different perspective. Mm-hmm. It's not getting bit. Getting bit is not quite. If you want to lay the foundations to chase after a big one, it's not about getting bit. Yep. It's about understanding the whole picture, regardless of whatever seasonal it is. Yep. You got to understand what the bait are doing and why the bait are doing that. And then you lead into, through time, you spend time and you try to figure out what those better fish are doing. You may not always figure it out and you may not get lucky doing it, but But if you could figure out where the small fish are, then I would go away from the small fish.
Yes.
And then look for something that's different.
Yep.
To target that big fish. So say, an example would be if the small fish were on a rock pile, I wouldn't fish the rock pile personally. I would fish the edges around the rock pile, or say if that rock pile's on a point or a hump, I would fish those transition edges into the deeper water.
Gotcha.
Where those small fish are not at. Because, and then, it changes day by day too. Sometimes the big fish will set up on the rock pile. Some days the small fish will set up on the rock pile.
Yeah.
You kind of have to sacrifice getting bit in order to pursue a better bite.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of the unfortunate game of it kind of deal. So.
And it makes sense. I've heard before that like-sized fish will often group up together because they're not a threat to one another. Versus if you've got like an absolute mega that's hanging out with a bunch of 1-pounders, that easily could be a buffet, Yeah. It makes a lot of sense. And probably good for the fishery too.
It is.
Yeah.
I mean, like my lake, my fish, they eat they're carnivores. They eat themselves.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Or
cannibals. There we go. No. I know it's an off day for everybody.
Yeah.
I love it, man. I love it. This was really good, Max. This was awesome. I've been really looking forward to talking to you because when I first heard this story, and then I saw like a couple of your posts on Facebook, and I saw some of the BS that you had to deal with, just like sharing like a pretty awesome accomplishment, and like you weren't braggadocious about it or anything like that.
No,
you were like it was more like, holy shit, look at what happened to me. That was amazing, and it's just so crazy to see these cretins come out of like nowhere and just try to tear you down for it. I think you handled it with like the most class anybody could have, and didn't get into the comments or anything like that. So that was badass.
Well, I'll be honest, I considered it.
Of course, oh, come on, we're all human.
Of course, you wouldn't be human if you didn't.
I considered it, but I read it and I was like, well, it doesn't look like this guy fishes. As in, it comes to a point where I have to think, well, is this guy a real person or is this guy a bot?
Sure.
This day and age, you gotta, yeah.
And so I was like, well, he's forming an opinion of his own, and that's how he feels about it. But I don't know if this is actually an informed opinion.
Yeah,
so
could be there just to create engagement.
Yeah,
right.
So
it's anyone who has a little bit of value is whether it's positive or negative feedback will have a little bit of substance in there, like real world facts. So that's when you can kind of separate, someone who's just being an a-hole to someone who's just like a troll.
Yep. Exactly. And I think a lot of those comments, honestly, I think that comes from a really, really sad place for a lot of these folks, because I think there's definitely some jealousy. You know what I mean? Like I've worked so hard. I haven't caught that size fish, or there's just haters just to be haters. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so I always try to like take that into consideration. I remember I was fishing with my buddy Paul, and Paul and I are very different anglers, but we kind of learned how to bass fish together. And there was this one day we were fishing this one spot where I caught my first 6-pounder. This was beforehand. He laid into, I want to say it was like a 5 1/4. It was a nice well-rounded 5 jig fish off an area where there was some access to deep water and some rocks and a weed line. So it was a real juicy spot. But and this was from the bank. Had it on the scale, pictures and everything, and he posted it on like a Massachusetts bass fishing group or something, like, check this out, this is great. And there were some guys that just immediately went for the jugular, and they were like, oh, that fish is no way, that's such and such, you got to check that scale, or blah 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 blah. And he took the bait and ran with it, and he was rattled for like months. He was like, what the hell is wrong with people? Can't they just let me like enjoy this catch? And I'm like, man, you got to think these folks are probably pretty sad, because they probably have sunk a lifetime in, but not the time to be able to, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, let's be honest, there's a little bit of like right place, right time. There is, like, I think I think it's Chad Hoover that said you've got 3 different elements of fishing. One of them being experience. I think the other one is skill. And then the third one is luck. And if you have 2 of those that even them out, the third one doesn't have to be so high. And what you want is experience and skill to be the higher ones to get you what you're looking for. The other one, luck, can just happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And to kind of tie that, what's that?
Oh, no, go ahead. Continue your thought.
I was
You're
going
on
to
a
say,
big thought.
like, to kind of continue, like we were talking about forward-facing sonar and stuff like that, I feel that in a way, like to a point, that level of technology helps you minimize the luck because you have more insight into what's under the water. So like the first time I caught my 6, and then when I broke that PB, it was the same thing. I was fishing 2 different styles entirely, but like the first time I was just kind of blind casting a jerkbait, literally fan casting and just kind of covering water. And I happened to hook in this. I had no idea that fish was there. I didn't even know the structure. I was fishing from the bank versus where I was fishing when I caught my other one. I was pitching a jig up underneath overhanging brush in April. Like I knew that these fish were, the sun was overhead. I knew they were going to be using those shade lines and everything. And I was just going and I was catching them. And I happened to get along this one other bank, and that's where I found some more bigger fish. And that broken PB was right there. But like when you have the technology to know, like, okay, there is something of significance here, and it might be a gar. It might be a sea lion or a shopping carriage. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? But you at least kind of have a little bit more of an idea of what you're seeing. And that, I don't know. I think that's a win, man. If you have the ability to eliminate that, it's a good thing.
Yeah. I mean, I used to be an anti-scoper, if you want to call it that, or anti-live scope guy. Simply because before I got it and before I really kind of like dialed it in or figured it out, I had a great time figuring out fish before that.
Yeah, sure.
I had multiple 10s before I ever got live scope. I patterned and figured out fish, my own specific pattern that I didn't go and ask anybody. And, you figure it out, you figure out the bite windows and so on and so forth.
Yep.
You can still do it traditionally. It's just, for me personally, I don't have a lot of time to go figure it out, unfortunately.
Yep.
And so live scopes or forward facing sonar, it's a great tool to minimize the time.
Yeah.
Whether you like it, you don't want to use it, whatever moral obligations you feel towards the fish to not use it or use it, it's up to the angler, right? But I get 16 hours a weekend to go fish. I'm gonna make the most of it.
Yes. That's the numbers game right there, because it's different for everybody. I get to go out when it's on, I'm out fishing 4 days a week, and they're usually 2 half days and 2 full days. So like, right there, that's a lot of time on the water, and when you're going and, we talked about this, like we talked about the goals for, giving a bait an hour, something like that, whatever it might be to try to like expand on. It's really difficult, especially for those folks that are like, maybe they get to fish one day, for 4 to 6 hours, something like that in a week. And, for somebody to say like, oh, I'm going to take it, I'm only going to throw this one presentation so I can learn it. That's tough when you're just looking to get a bite, So like, you just got to fish the way you want to fish.
Yeah.
And set your goals accordingly. Oh, that's awesome, man. So
there's no wrong way to fish.
Yeah, there definitely is. So I think I have my last question for you. It's a twofer. And this is usually what I go out on, but we'll have Joe ask the one he's been holding for a little bit after this. So Max, what I need from you is 2 stories, okay? One of them would be like the moment that you were most proud of on the water. So think of this as like if you're at a party or like a wedding or something like that, and you go up to the bar and someone's like, oh, hey, I heard, you like to fish. What's that go-to story that you would lead with? And then on the flip side of that, what's the story that's like the biggest epic fail where everything just went to absolute crap?
I think for me, the biggest thing is tournament mornings. I'm not a huge social person I should say this. A lot of fishermen aren't huge social people.
That's a good
100%.
It's true.
But I'm also one of them. You know, I'm not a huge social person.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, tournament mornings, you know, the shotgun launch or, you know, multiple boat ramp launches, you know, on the kayak side.
Yeah.
I like to spread laughter around the
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You know, a lot of guys take it very seriously. A lot of guys are trying to, you know, I'm in this to win it, and they forget the fact that we're just out here fishing.
Exactly.
So, you know, that's one of the things I like to do, whether it's the best moment for me or not. Sometimes, you know, you get some kickback. Some guys don't. They want to be in their own zone. They don't want you to mess with them.
Yep.
But you know, for me, anytime somebody starts laughing, I could go up there and conversate and just kick a joke, you know, get them to laugh and get them to kind of relax their nerves and not take it so serious.
Yeah, definitely.
That's a win. That's a win to me all the time, every time.
No, absolutely, man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you're right. It's like there are folks who they take it so seriously, and it's almost a little like you're like, why are you putting up that wall? You know what I mean? Even with competition, like, I don't know. I'm kind of like you. I like to be able to like break the ice and be a little bit more social. It's weird. I hate people, but I do love gatherings. You know?
Well, I'm not like you in that regard. I hate gatherings. I despise them.
Oh, so what about that epic fail? That's what I'm really curious about.
So epic fail. I don't have too many.
That is a first.
Well, simply because I don't ever really hold on to the failure. You know, I just look at it and learn from it.
Yep.
And then just
like that.
Keep going on my day because you know, I can look at it like, so there's some plaques up on there that, you know, I had a couple of second place finishes during TOCs. You know, one bite would have won me. You know, it was down to the last quarter inch or down to the last ounce, and I lost it by like an ounce, or I lost it by a quarter inch.
Mm-hmm.
Both side, kayak side, however you wish to determine it. And you know, I could have won. I had the winning fish on. You know, won one event. It was a jerk bait. I had the winning fish on. It came up for no reason. Hooks were fine. It just did a little wallow, and the jerk bait popped off. You know, cost me a win.
Yep.
You know, and you know, there's a lot of those losing moments that I can think of, but I don't ever really hold it into my regard of like, this sucks because this happened. Mm-hmm. It's more so of, well, that happened. You know, what are you going to do about it?
Yep.
There's not much you can do about it. You just got to improve.
That's really good way of looking at it, because from doing as many interviews as I had with other guests, the thing I always picked up on is like that question's hard to answer, and the primary reason is that like there's no shortage of like stupid mistakes that have happened on the water, lost fish, or you know, like, oh, the netman flubbed this, or I messed up netting this fish for, you know, the one that got away. Like there's so many stories like that. But we always hear all the time that like even a day where there maybe just the catches, or even if it's a total skunk, whatever you can learn, the better. And sometimes that means, hey, don't wear this jacket while I'm throwing a rattle trap, you know, or something like that. Like it might be one of those things that you learn and you're like, okay, great. And that can turn that day into a win.
Yeah.
You know?
And, you know, I'll give a prime example. After I caught the 16, I went out like 3 or 4 days after that.
Yep.
Kind of like in a row, kind of same holiday kind of season. I was off for Christmas.
Yeah.
The fish didn't want to bite anything because they were afraid of line noise and weight noise.
Yeah.
So if you were throwing a drop shot and your weight was clacking on the bottom, they did not want anything to do with it.
Yeah.
If you were shaking your minnow too hard and your line was vibrating too much, they would not touch it. And you take that loss and you're like, okay, well, what can I do different next time?
Mm-hmm.
And so you grow and progress from it. So
no, it makes sense, man. That's real good advice. So what do you got for us, Joe? You're holding on to some juice. I'm excited.
All right, Max. So I got to know, you're scoping looking for this 16-pounder. You're watching it. What is going through your head once you see that thing strike and you set that hook? I want to know what was going through your head once you hooked up with that fish.
So first thing was catfish. That was the first thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, very simply because, I mean, I knew it wasn't a catfish, but sometimes catfish do weird things that you can't explain. And so first thought was catfish. I thought immediately, I was like, well, this doesn't feel like a bass because it didn't do the death roll a catfish normally does.
Yep.
You know, it doesn't do those head shakes that a catfish normally would, but it was just heavy like a catfish. You know, just the weight felt like a catfish. And then after that, it was just kind of like, well, regardless of what it is, you know, I'm going to play it out. Whether it's a catfish, whether it's a bass, I'm going to play it out. I'm just going to work on, you know, focus on my mechanics, make sure my line's tight, loosen the drag if I need to, you know, play the fish out. If it needs to dive, you know, loosen the drag, play it out. And the very second I saw it come up and wallow or breach water, however you wish to call it, it was just too big. It never made it out of the water, but just kind of you know, just kicked its head out of the water a little bit. I was like, okay, that's a 10-pounder. You know, I've caught enough 10-pounders to know that, well, this is probably a 10-pounder.
Yeah.
I didn't see the girth on it. I didn't know how long it was because I just seen its head. And so I was like, okay, well, here's a 10. You know, make sure to do everything that you need to do to land this fish.
For sure.
Right.
And so the rest of it's pretty much history. It's just kind of standard, normal operating procedure. Just play the fish out, land the fish. Cool story maybe for some guys. Maybe some guys may hate me for it. I don't use a net. Every single fish that I've caught that's over 10 pounds has been without a net.
Oh, wow.
So I lean over to the side, kind of lip them. So it's something I do so that I'm on a heightened focus to maintain how I fight the fish. So I don't rush fighting the fish in, and I don't make any dumb mistakes. Is why I do it without a net.
Gotcha.
Because if you fish with a net, right, you tend to think, well, I have a net, I just need to get it into the net. It's my safety cap. And so you're going to reach for the net faster, or you're going to do something weird, and then you're going to mess up and lose slack in the fight in some way, somehow.
Yeah.
That's just
Really? So you don't
philosophy.
You don't even use a net like in a tournament, like when you're like to even hold that fish in the water to make sure your pictures are good or anything like that. Like no open mouths or anything. Really? Oh, all right.
No. Yeah, you know, I don't recommend it, right? You know, obviously, if you use a net, you know, honestly, if you can use a net, use a net. It's just, you know, if it's a 3-pounder or 4-pounder, I'm both flipping it. You know, if it's anything over 4 or 5 kind of ish, you know, I'm taking my time when I'm landing it.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, you know, the bigger the fish, generally, like, by the time you get them to the boat, the fight's gone. You know, that's like it's just a matter of holding them. But that's a skill, man. I've been doing CPR for a little while now, and I'm like, that's the one tip I always have for everybody, like, especially from a small vessel. Like, even when I do CPR and I'm in my boat, after I take those pictures, that fish goes in my live well. And it stays there until I know that picture's good. Then I do a release. But it's like, it's just a matter of, like, you know, balancing it. But I think that's impressive, man. It's fucking crazy.
Yeah. So, like, you know, the picture deal, you know, if I also fish with a different mentality than others. You know, I don't, regardless of how tough fishing is, I'll just say, okay, well, I can get a good picture of that 18-incher.
Yep.
I'm just going to go catch another one.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think about it for too long. Mm-hmm. Even if it does hurt my tournament finish or whatnot.
Gotcha.
I just keep going. There's plenty of time to catch another fish. You know, don't think about it for too long because it's just going to hurt your fishing for the day.
Yeah.
So that
good.
That's my process.
Man. Makes sense. Well, Max, this was absolutely awesome, dude. If you care to, if you have anybody that you're working with, like sponsor wise or anything like that, feel free to shout them out. Let people know where they can find you on social media. If they have questions about kayak fishing or live scope or any of that stuff that we talked about today, how they can reach out and get in touch with you.
Yeah. So due to the powers of the fish, I think honestly, if anybody wants to reach out to me, I'm on Facebook a lot. Instagram, not so much. I'm normally on Facebook. But if anybody wishes to find me, you could Google me now.
That's true.
I like that.
Yeah. So, I don't like to brag, but it's kind of what it is.
No, yeah, absolutely. Like you get Wired to Fish runs your name, and then it's like, okay. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a short list of people that have that they can say like, oh yeah, I've been on the Wired to Fish website. Not for something nefarious, right?
So I don't have a social media tag. I don't know what my social media tag is, but if you Googled me, just put up my name, Max Lee, and fishing.
Yep.
My Facebook should pop up. The catch, they go pretty viral, so
that's awesome.
Won't be too hard to. Yeah, it won't be hard to find me. Feel free to reach out to me. There's probably less people that actually reach out to me and ask me about fishing than there are people that don't reach out to me. So
yeah.
Feel free to talk to me. Just talk.
No, it's awesome, man. Well, thank you, Max. I appreciate you being on the show, dude. And this is absolutely one hell of a show to be on right here. It's kind of a monumental one for the show, but this is really cool. If it's okay, I'm going to use that picture of you holding that behemoth as the artwork on here, and I think just because people have to see this thing, it's just huge.
Yeah.
And
feel free. If you need a better crop photo of it. If it gets compressed or anything, let me know. I'll send you a better photo. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Definitely. Sounds good. All right, Max. Well, thanks so much. You guys go ahead and I don't know where in the show I'm even going to put this interview. I hate to bury it all the way at the end, but we kind of ran through the show last night when we recorded it, segment after segment after segment. So it's going to be a bit of a shit show. So maybe this is the end of the show. And if that's the case, you know what we say.
Tits and ass, smoke some grass.